veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. Man, I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right. In my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped. lanes. I've been driving this train, years in this lane. There's no stopping this flame, cause I came to the game.
Yes, good people, big up to all of you. Once again, I do hope you're all doing well. I appreciate you all finding the time to join me today again for another live Chelsea show on Chelsea Perspective. I cannot thank you guys enough for all the love you're showing. The community will continue to grow. We're getting closer and closer to 23,000 subscribers, and I'm quite sure we'll get there as soon as possible. Today, without wasting much of your time, we'll talk about Trevor Chalobah. We will talk about Cole Palmer and Nani Madrick. Of course, we'll talk about that exciting game. Exciting for the neutrals, you could argue, but for us Chelsea fans, at first it wasn't so pretty. We'll talk about Cole Palmer and Nani Madrick, and then we talk about Romeo Lavia. We also talk about the possibility of Chelsea swapping Raheem Sterling for Jadon Sancho. There's a lot to talk about. Then we'll talk about Jhon Duran still on our club's radar. I think would end up with Jhon Duran. And then we'll talk about Victor Osimhen, and Victor Osimhen. So without wasting much of your time, I'm going to say hello to those of you in the chat to know how you're doing. That's how we operate. Give me a second here. In the comments section already, we have Namaya Fowler, always one of the first to be there. Say hello, and then ask a lot of questions and a lot of updates from him too. We have Danny Music who's in the house. A big up to you. Sterling will reject United and move to Italy. I don't think it possibly because of his Man City stint, or maybe because he played for Manchester City. Chances are he ends up in Saudi Arabia. But right now, I think his priority, as I've always told people, is to get some money out of Chelsea. But that's right where we'll find out. A lot of people, but Jude Mesole, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. My bro, sorry that I haven't called you back. It's been a crazy period for me, and I'm quite sure you know why. Hello to you too, bro, and everyone in the community. Hello to you too. And we have Henry Omo. That's a Niger bro there. Always number one. What's the story? Just hold on, sit tight. We will get to everything we have lined up one by one. And we have 1-4K the numbers. I can't go through the process of calling out the numbers, but I do. Is it 1-4? I think so. I don't know. Or 1-4K. I'm not. Follow my page, guys. Okay. Thank you for asking us to follow your page. We will do the best. We will do that for you if we can. But more importantly, thank you so much for finding the time to join us. And without wasting much of your time, I will be moving to the presentation window so we can start addressing the news items we have lined up. But keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. And finally, my bro Vic is in the house. Woo! My bro Vic is in the house. Much respect to you, and thank you for all the love you've shown the community. Let's see what Vic has to say here. Straight up with an update, exclusive, he says. Liverpool making initial approach for Federico Chiesa and possible option. Let me see. For Federico Chiesa as possible option for final days. The chairs are available on the market as Juve want to find a solution, and Liverpool made contact today. Looks like Barca, I think I read something to the effect of Barca asking him to reduce his wage demands to join them. I think Barca, they're going to start finding it difficult to sign players these days. Even they can your reputation. I don't think there's a certain place it can lead you to, and that's it. People are hungry. Mr. Cash here is saying, let's see what he has to say. Okay, please don't forget to talk about Mudrik. I'll try the best I can. Osimhen's price has dropped to 65 million. Maybe Arsenal may sign him, and that will be scary. Heston, his price dropping isn't an issue. His salary is the main thing. And I think Arsenal too will be concerned. That's just my opinion. Hello to you, to Courtney. Nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. I do hope you're doing well. These haters can can be happy. All right. Let's see. Let's move on. Without wasting much of your time, we will start addressing the items we have lined up. And currently, we do have 82 people in total following the show. 48 of those on YouTube, the rest on X. And for those of you who are following the show on X, and for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat, just know that we appreciate you. That's because you watching alone does go a long way. But we want to ask you for one favor, one tiny bitty favor, which is to take a second and drop a like on the stream for us. The likes do go a long way. And for those of you following the show on X, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Please take a second, drop a like on the video for us, share the video, and also follow our X account. Thank you, and thank you so much. 22 likes already, and we are just 10 minutes into the show. I cannot thank you guys enough. Let's try and get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. So I'm going to move to the presentation window without wasting much of your time so we can start addressing the items we have lined up. But more likes, people, more likes, and thank you so much for joining me. All right, I think I need to switch this around. Give me a second here. And Vic, by the way, you usually during this time you behave as if you're at work and you don't want your boss to catch you on YouTube. But thank you for the update, bro. Much appreciated. So the first item, as you can see on the screen, is from the transfer guru himself. You can call him the king of transfer, one of them. I don't have a favorite between him and David Onston. Both are good. They have their sources. I think people just like to see them, just like to say, see them fight. But I don't think they do. They conduct themselves professionally, just showing, you know what, I think I have the better information and the other person does something, and vice versa. But that's, by the way, this is Fabrizio Romano reporting on Victor Osimhen. This first one reads more on Victor Osimhen, which means this is a follow-up report to a previous report, but I think this will tell us everything we need to know. It says the agreement between Napoli and Al Ali, which means Napoli and Al Ali, they do have an agreement in place. Which means that they've made a bid and Napoli accepted the bid. But let's go on. For package in excess of 65 million euros is almost done, pending small details. But more importantly, pay attention to the second paragraph of the report. I mean, it's everywhere. And after this, I'm going to tell you something else I want to talk about. There are some accounts, some sports outlets, for lack of a more specific language, suggesting suggesting that Chelsea have agreement in place with Victor Osimhen, and are already discussing payment terms with Napoli. That it's only a matter of time Victor Osimhen will become a Chelsea player. That's absolute horse dung, in my opinion. And there we did see, I think we did address a particular report. Which one? What did he say again? I can't quite remember what he said. Something all about it. I mean, it's everywhere. The one saying that Osimhen is demanding 500 or £1,000 a week. And when we addressed that particular report, I did tell people, if he's saying that, for me, that tells me that maybe a Saudi club has promised him that much money. And I'm quite sure the Saudis will be promising him, they will be promising him something around that number, or maybe a little less, because they know no European club will be willing to pay him that. As last season wasn't the best of all the seasons he's had in Europe. That's a small opinion anyway. But this part says, just lets us know that it's not a done deal for the Saudis. They have an agreement in place with Napoli, and that's not going to happen if Osimhen says it's not going to Saudi. And Napoli, they'll be, you could say, desperate to find a solution. It doesn't matter if it is Chelsea. If he wants to go to Chelsea, then Chelsea will pay them how much they want to pay him. Otherwise, they're going to be stuck with his current wage. I can't quite remember how much that is. So we'll move on from that one. Who else do we have here? And I've said hello to my bro Vic there. Much love to you, and I appreciate you. Please don't forget to we will. I think I've addressed that. Osimhen's price has dropped to 65 million. Maybe I think I've addressed that one too. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with hello to you to Courtney. So these this okay. I've read all those things. Osimhen, but I don't think we've addressed this one. From Vic, which reads Osimhen doesn't want the Saudi move yet. It seems because the route has always been here for him. When you say here, I'm guessing you mean Chelsea. Okay. if we want him, I hope that's the case. But I've seen reports also suggesting that he doesn't want to be join Chelsea. He'd rather go to PSG. We'll talk about all of them. Osimhen will come. Okay, you be the next 55 minutes. You'll be spamming all videos we have published saying how letting me know how you believe he's coming to us. Enoch Garpa saying Chelsea must get this guy by all means necessary. Okay. They can give him Sterling's salary or something near that. I think they can give him even more. Actually, Saudis they pay a lot of money. Is Duran that possibly? It sounds as if that's gonna be the case, or maybe it's just us. You could say making it come across to Napoli as if we're not hell bent on getting Osimhen. That we have other options and could just turn to those options, and then they'll be stuck with Osimhen. Sancho to Chelsea. We'll get to that in a bit. Talk. What's his name again? Top 666. Nice to see you. I don't like saying that. Sterling doesn't want to leave London. We'll get to that. Let's stick to the topic right now. We're talking about Victor Osimhen right now. How does he currently earn? What does he currently earn at Napoli? I think around 300 or a little bit more than 300 or close to. I'm not sure. But Vic in the chat will tell us. Is always again. I think he knows. He should let us know. Fab said put an eye on Duran. Yeah, I'll get to that in a bit. Hope you're doing one job on entertainment. And my bro, should not. Governor Derajan is in the house. He's a big up Coach Chila. My brother, let me see what he has to say there. Sorry about that. Always bringing in hot deals and news. We need more love for players. Show your support to this channel. Like and subscribe. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for always supporting your bro. I cannot thank you enough. And Vic here once again is saying the report from Hawkins says Osimhen wants PSG and has already agreed a 290k per week deal. Euros to be more specific. Chelsea will need to match that. But what about how about the report that suggests Napoli and interested? You should consider that too. Not Napoli, PSG aren't interested. And who's that? But although the truth remains that didn't come from the manager or maybe the higher previous hierarchy, but from a Juno on X to be more specific. Okay, let's see if that happens. And Courtney is saying, I don't see Osimhen at Chelsea because if Chelsea really want a player, they go and get him. Nah, it depends on what the player is asking from. Again, in terms of salary, the Piazza Osimhen is currently on 245k a week. That's not bad. But can we match that or maybe go a little beyond that? I don't know. Because if the Saudis are seriously interested in signing him, our only saving grace would be if he doesn't want to go to Saudi. Yeah, then we have a chance. But thank you so much. And we have Mutonga here. Mutonga, yeah, well, Mutonga saying Chelsea, they should get Osimhen because we are lacking a striking force. Okay. We're a big club, so I think we should give him 350k because if we get Lukaku and Sterling off the books, we can afford him. But if the aim is to reduce our wage bill, I don't think we're going back to giving anybody that much money. Let me just leave it at that. Today is quiet. Yeah, maybe something is happening in the background and we do not know. And my bro here says now the salary reported for Osimhen around 350 to 500k, which seems well out of our current wage structure. I think I agree. Also, if he fails, we cannot face another Lukaku situation. Definitely. But we don't know whether he's willing to take a pay cut or whether he'd be willing to accept our you can say current salary construct, which is heavily incentivized. You earn, you work for what you earn. You can't just sit on the bench or maybe not play well and be earning that much money. We are reluctant to match Osimhen's current wages. He needs to take a pay cut. Yeah, I think it wasn't like he reaped trees last season, and I think the only place he'd earned that much money and even a lot more, maybe twice as much, will be Saudi Arabia. His area of threat is top notch and it's needed badly, but you can't because you need something badly and bankrupt yourself, if that makes sense. Let me just hope that whatever we're seeing out there is a case of us and them playing. You can say what's the term I'm looking for? Analogy maybe. Cat and mouse, or maybe chess, transfer chess. But that's by the way. Let's hear Bobby's opinion. But let me read again more items about Osimhen before Bobby comes in. This one here, let's see what we can understand from this. Let me just hear about Bobby, then we'll get to the next two items, which also talk about Osimhen. Bobby, let's hear you, and thank you so much for finding the time to be with me on the panel. I do hope you're doing well.
Yeah, big up, coach. Yeah, Osimhen. It's a funny one. I'll just speak from what I feel because I have
Mm-hmm.
no idea. I think Chelsea and Osimhen are holding out for each other. If it is true that his wages are 245K a week, then in accordance to what Fabrizio Romano has been saying, it's going to be something that Chelsea will move for 72 hours max, 48 hours probably before the close of the window, which is probably translates to about Wednesday, we'll get a clearer picture. I think
Mm-hmm.
what Chelsea's waiting for is for the um, Lukaku deal to get sorted. And if possible, the bonus would be for uh, Sterling to get done, then they would just make that move for Osimhen. That's what I feel. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, there are rumors of an Arsenal interest, and of course, the Saudis have dropped their money down. I'm inclined to believe he doesn't want to go to Saudi. I don't think he does. I think, just as his agent said, he still has a lot to prove in Europe. So let's wait and see what happens. But my personal gut feeling, yeah, 245K per week is not out of Chelsea's range. It will make him one of our top earners, but I think they will stretch to that for him. But I think so far the holdup is the conclusion of the Lukaku deal, and if possible, to get the Sterling deal done, and maybe even Chilwell. They want to clear the decks better. They can do it now if they have to, but they need to clear the decks for PSR reasons. That's how I feel. Anything else is just noise. It's just noise right now. It's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of transfer noise. People are always going to. You see, these agents know what they're doing. They know how to get the fan base riled up and pushing out information, true, false, panicky, on social media. I think Chelsea are quite relaxed, and if anything, yesterday's performance underlined is the more reason they are relaxed. Scoring 6 goals away from home was a signal to Osimhen that, look, if we really need to, we'll do without you. You know, I sent you a DM about Mikel's response to
Yeah,
Jackson, which
here's
was really
here's
funny.
my take on that, on his response, Bobby. That
Yeah,
response is more classier than the comment he made that led to the back and forth between him and Jackson. That's the way he should have
yeah,
spoken the first time he talked about Jackson. I think maybe he's learned to respect Jackson, and that's good. Because
yeah. I mean, we're
had he spoken the way he did in his latest response to Jackson, I don't think Jackson will take anything out of you could say be mad at him, other than listen to him as a big brother. But he bashed Jackson. That
yeah.
was more than you could say. That wasn't professional from him, in my opinion.
Mikel is a Chelsea fan. There's no doubt about it, and he's really invested in having his fellow countryman come in as the number 9. So he's a little bit exuberant in what he says, but I don't think he really meant anything too disparaging. And Jackson's response is Jackson's response. That's
Mm,
just a distraction. It's all gravy, honestly. It doesn't mean anything. To me, it's all gravy. But what is key now is these last few days. And my personal feeling is both Osimhen and Chelsea are holding out for each other.
yeah. All right. Let's catch up with what we have in the chat. Let's see if Bobby is correct. A lot of people would want that to be the case. So catch up with what we have in the chat. Then we'll come back. We'll continue. Three more items lined up to talk about Osimhen because yeah, it's everywhere. And here sitting at the saying also know that there is a difference between we can afford him and we don't want to disrupt the wage structure. Yeah, but the same technically, if you don't want to disrupt the wage structure, technically you cannot afford him. Yeah, but I get it. If you want to be making an English class, then that's when I say, okay, yeah, they're different. But I'm like, you get my point. The current board is going around with the latter to maintain a good ecosystem, which is good. Thank you so much. A very very educated, let me say, you could call it input or maybe contribution. Up the Charles Simon Langen, nice to see you. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. And we have Wycliffe Barish, nice to see you. If he really loves and wants to play for Chelsea, he will take a pay cut. Otherwise, if he goes to Al Ali, he's just after the bag. Who he isn't. It's a primary reason for us, all of us working. It's yeah, for the bag. Except if you're doing it for charity purposes, then yeah, and you're doing otherwise, if that makes sense. Chimera, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well, and I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular afternoon. It's no longer morning for me. If it's all about money, then Osimhen will accept Saudi move, and then we simply cannot compete with the Saudis. But if he opts to stay in Europe, we have a chance. Let's just leave out, we have a chance. That's it. He wants to stay in Europe. So just match his current wage and get this going. It's not just, I get where you're coming from. Let's see. He may not hit the ground running, but he will cook in the league because he's fast, physical, composed. He can dribble, and he's a clinical striker. Plus, I wouldn't count dribbling as Osimhen's strongest tool, but that's just my opinion anyway. Big up to you too, the coolest Charles. Nice to see you, Toby. Always nice to see you, brother. I do hope you're doing well. And Courtney here is saying it might end up happening on deadline date. Let's find out. Keduki Mary Ekechi Martins, my brother, I did Chibika Martins darling one day. And thank you for speaking our language. I like that. Ekechi, I appreciate you joining. Bobby is sounding youthful. Okay, I'm not sure what to make of that comment. And let's get the likes up, people. We have 36 likes. We should be doing a lot better than that. If you haven't, take a second to drop a like on the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Mr. Adekunle here saying Osimhen should show he wants to play for Chelsea. Yeah, if he's agreed to join you, he wants to play for you, but that doesn't mean he should do it for free. You don't work for free. Don't expect him to play for free. Hit the like button, people, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We should not relax. We still need a striker. I still think we'll get a striker. The question now is whether it be Osimhen or someone else. There's no way to tell what will happen, really, for being honest. More likes, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. I'm going to say hello to those of you that I haven't said hello to, and then I will drop to the very bottom. 62 people watching and only 37 likes. We should do better. Mason Mountains, start liking the stream before it's over. Yes, people. We hesitated with Haaland, and look at him now. I don't regret anything, honestly. Truck, okay. I am liking Maresca's direction. For me, I think he's an excellent manager. Even before we won that game, I knew that that he would do well at Chelsea. But it's not over yet. Still a long way to go. People go and check out Tebeho's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Let's help him get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. I'm just going to say hello to those of you that I haven't said hello to. And then we will get back to addressing the other items we have lined up. OB is a bit biased. Okay. Come on, coach. He didn't bash Jackson. He even said, I don't want this to sound as if I'm disrespecting him. Well, Jackson sees it the way he sees it. Obviously, he felt disrespected, if you get my point. Something that, for me, I don't get bent out of shape for. You could say then someone else will go call 911, if that makes sense. Osimhen coming will force Jackson to make sure his game is top-notch. That's good. I'm not saying what Mikel said was bad, but sometimes you have to speak intelligently, knowing that whatever you're saying could come across to someone as insulting when it isn't to you. All right, let's see. Jackson's response is something we'd like to see. He has made a statement and now has to back it up. Yeah, he has to continue scoring every week and not miss open net chances. Otherwise, Mikel will come at him again, and then uh, um, and then Mikel will come at him again, and the whole fan base will turn against him. That's how I see it. All right, I'm going to scroll to the very bottom, and then I'll try to address. I'll try to get your subsequent contributions in the chat. Apologies, as much as I like to interact with you, I it's important that we take a break from what the comments every now and then to address the items we have lined up. Otherwise, reading your comment will be all we do for the whole day. You can speak to these Gen Z kids would love. They will not understand it. Yeah, not just them. I think people perceive things differently. Um, I don't know how else to say, but I know you get the point, which is why you said that. So let me see anything else. Let's see this comment from Wycliffe Barashare, which says, "I think we will get him. We will definitely I think if we get him, we will definitely get top four, even if it's not outstanding, because it will improve the aura of the team, especially among the fans. Aura isn't my thing anymore." Um, I says the Republic of South Africa, I'm guessing Lifo. Do you think the comment will be about Jackson won't divide? No, it will not cause any divisions, in my opinion. No, it's between the two of them. If anything, if Jackson continues, I think the club will probably reach out and say, okay, just stop it, focus, prove him wrong on the pitch. And if I were Jackson, I wouldn't go to the extent of telling Obi to shut up. I'd say, did you watch the last game? And for me, I wouldn't have said anything in that particular game. I get it. I got one assist and one goal. I wouldn't have said anything. I'll wait maybe if I score a hat trick or maybe score consistently for 5 games or 3 games at least. Then yeah, I'll say something. But right now, he has to back up his comment. He has to score goals, not just in the next game, the following game. Otherwise, Mikel will come back and fans will back him up. Did he tell the fans to shut up when they say something? I'm not saying the way, I still don't wouldn't say the way Mikel said it, and that's who I am. But despite the way, Osimhen should show willingness. His wages can be okay, can be increased like Palmer's, or heavily incentivized. Okay, we should just go for Gyökeres and say, I'm tired of this Osimhen news. We're not sure who we'll end up getting, but we just wait and see what happens. Hi to you too. Nice to see you, Onishi. I hope you're doing well. Onishi, is that Onishi, which means leader in Igbo language, or maybe that's another language. But that's, by the way, we move on from this to this particular one here. This one, Victor Osimhen's agent. It looks like he's a social media star. I don't know, but he does speak a lot. I'm gonna have to switch to the presentation window. Sorry about that. Yep, there you go. We have this. To the presentation window here. Osimhen's agent, Victor Osimhen's agent calendar. Victor is not a package to be shipped far away to make room for new prophets. Wow. Whatever this means, I'm not sure. But I think I have Bobby. I hope Bobby is listening, because I'm gonna get his opinion on what he's saying here. And then the second paragraph, Victor still has uh so much to do in Europe. Okay, now it's becoming clear to me. And then the third paragraph, Osimhen is a Napoli player with a contract recently renewed with mutual satisfaction. Okay. They're not in a hurry to leave. The fourth paragraph, he made history, and when there were major offers also this year, we always accepted the club's decision. So now it's up to the club to be patient with them, to understand that I'm seeing what, to my understanding, that he doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. He still wants to play in Europe. So we have a chance if we're going by this. Okay. The last paragraph reads, Victor was elected African Footballer of the Year, 8 at the Ballon d'Or. There is need for respect. Wow. I think he wants his own money too, but let's pay attention here. Victor Osimhen's agent calendar says, first of all, Victor is not a package to be shipped far away to make room for new profits. So if you say shipped far away, I'm guessing Saudi Arabia specifically. If he remains in Europe, he's not being shipped far away. So clearly here he tells you, yeah, he's talking about him not going to Saudi Arabia. Victor still has so much to do in Europe. And if you remember in the previous report that we addressed, here is saying, but no agreement. The Saudis, they have an agreement in place with Napoli, but they do not have an agreement with the player himself. Yeah, the player release clause to be included. The player doesn't want, if he doesn't want to go to Saudi, he doesn't want to go to Saudi, and that doesn't change anything. So, Bobby, let's hear you this particular report here. But before then, let's see what Vic is saying here. Just a short one. Osimhen's agent is always angry. Yeah, probably not happy, wants money. If Georgie Mendes was his agent, we'll get him for sure. Probably some backdoor business. Big up to you, to Giovanni Jafta. Nice to see you, and everyone. I hope you're good. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. The same agent who put Osimhen, yeah, in this situation. Yeah, exactly. So, Bobby, let's hear you. What do you make of this comment from Osimhen's agent? Then, in my opinion, overall, it's simple, really. If you read it and analyze it properly, he doesn't want to go to Saudi. Still wants to play in Europe. But let's hear your thoughts, Bobby.
Yeah, I thought that's what we said earlier, that it doesn't look like he wants to go to Saudi.
Mhm.
That it's too early in his career. I don't know what that comment is saying. I can't see it because I'm talking to you on
I'll
my
read a
phone.
few. The first one, let me read it for you now that you listen. The first one says, Victor Osimhen's agent, just mentioning, quoting him, Victor is not a package to be shipped far away to make room for new prophets. The
Yeah.
second paragraph is also important. Victor still has so much to do in Europe. That's as clear as can be there. And then he start mentioning Osimhen Napoli's contract. Osimhen is a Napoli player with a contract recently renewed with mutual satisfaction. And then he says he's made history, yada yada yada, and all that. The last one said Victor was elected. Does his thinks he's won. But first three paragraphs gives it away. They're not in a hurry. They don't want to go to Saudi Arabia. They go where the player wants to go and not where Napoli wants to go. Agreeing terms with Saudi side doesn't make a difference for them. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that speaks for itself, isn't it? He doesn't want to be packaged off anywhere.
Mhm.
Fair enough. He doesn't want to go to Saudi Arabia. Fair enough. That's quite a low ball for a Saudi club, really. I mean, what is that? £55 million
Yeah,
they offered and
probably
was
because they
accepted.
sense desperation, in my opinion. But go ahead.
Well, it's been accepted, so don't be surprised if Chelsea go even cheaper now. If they can accept 55 million, who knows? But I'm reading somewhere about his package might be something included in the whole Lukaku deal. I don't know. I think by Wednesday we'll have more clarity. But it's quite clear he's not going to Saudi. He's not going to PSG either. I don't know these people talking about him going to PSG. I don't see that happening. I
Mm.
reiterate what I've said, and I could be wrong. I'm not in the know, as it were. But how it looks to me is that Victor is holding out for Chelsea, and Chelsea is holding out for Victor. That's how I see it at this moment.
And let's say this, Bobby, quickly. He doesn't have to go to Saudi. So I think to Saudi Arabia, we know that, which means if Chelsea comes in, if the Saudis are offering Napoli 55 million, Chelsea could go in with 45 or even 40 if he wants to join us because he goes where he wants to go. You can't force him
Yeah.
to go to Saudi Arabia. I'm quite sure Napoli probably accepted the Saudi offer because they'd be willing to pay Victor Osimhen a whole lot to get him to join them. Um,
No,
yeah, Bobby,
to
let's
the
be clear.
contrary. They're
Yeah,
not
go ahead.
invest. They're not invested in what they're going to pay Victor. I think that's to the contrary. I think they've accepted the Saudi offer because that's the biggest offer on the table for them. I don't think anybody else is really prepared to pay much more than that.
Yeah.
PSG have walked away, and
And they're
Chelsea
not going
haven't.
back, not really because of the price, because his profile overall. I preach that, but people don't seem to listen. I don't think he's Luis Enrique's type of number 9. If they sign him, it'd be because their board wants him. But go ahead.
Yeah, and Chelsea haven't dropped anything on the table yet. So they took the first thing that was dropped on the table that resembles money for them. That's it. They don't care what he earns there. That's got nothing to do with them. Now, I believe Chelsea is just waiting for the Lukaku offload. Lukaku, possibly Sterling, but primarily Lukaku, and then they'll move for Osimhen. Probably even getting him cheaper than the 55 million. That's how I see it. It's left to be seen if that's what's going to happen, but that's how I see it because all indications are there. Now, there was the Arsenal rumor. I don't know how true that is. I don't know. I mean, they would be stupid to pay more than the Saudis have dropped on the table as well. They're
Hmm.
not going to
Hmm.
do that. I don't think his wages are a problem to Chelsea, to be honest. 245 euros per week. I don't think that's going to be their issue, especially if they offload Lukaku and if they offload Sterling. That's probably why they've been trying to offload Sterling so they can meet up comfortably with that sort of wage demand.
That's for Lukaku and Sterling both. That's more than half a million we saving weekly. And but in the case of to be honest, in the case of Raheem Sterling, I think we did, and when we analyzed the initial report with regards to his future, we realized immediately he's looking for a payoff, and it looks like that's the case now. But go ahead, we get to Sterling's situation in a bit. But go ahead with what you were saying, Bobby.
Well, going to Sterling, I think Sterling's just looking for another club. What payoff is he looking for? He's looking for
We
another
will get
club.
we get to that in a bit, Bobby. I think, yeah, he's looking for some sort of compensation from Chelsea. I sensed in my opinion, I when we addressed that initial report that talked about his future, I realized, yeah, he's saying I'm contracted to you for another, is it 3 years or how long? If you want me gone, yeah, I'd be willing to leave, but let's talk. What are you gonna do for me
Look,
to accept and leave?
the,
Yeah.
the position is crystal clear, coach. It's 100% clear. It's the fans that are pulling the figures. He's not going to play for Chelsea again. So it's up to him. If he wants to play football, he moves on. There's no question of, oh, you've got to compensate me and all that. Once you move on, the contract is over. There's nothing else there. So if he wants to play football, he goes elsewhere. Now, if he's able to maintain those wages, fine. But you and I both know it's unrealistic. And he knows he was overpaid. And he knows he's not cost effective. That's why they're getting rid of him. There's no complication. If he wants to sit out the rest of his contract, Chelsea they won't like it, but they're not going to be bullied by
No, they
that.
won't be bullied, yeah, but they would want him gone too. So, which means I think they will arrive. You could say they will find common ground
Well,
because,
the
yeah,
the
it won't
com-
benefit. He has. I think Chelsea will be. You could say bleeding money unnecessarily for a player who doesn't play anymore for them. And for him, if he still has the ambition to represent England or to continue playing football, he'd be losing, wasting time. So I think they will find a way to compromise and move on from each other. I think
no,
that's
the,
what's going to
the,
happen.
the common ground is to move to
Yeah,
another club.
yeah, common
That
ground.
is
Yeah,
the common ground. He has the common ground is to move to another club. That is the common ground. What
you
else does
think
he
he'd
want?
move to another club without him pushing for the club to pay him something?
What do you mean? The other club will pay him something.
No, no, I'm saying
There's
you.
no
Do you really
the
think,
club.
Bobby? Do you really see him deciding to leave without the club paying him some compensation? I don't think he'd do that, but
No,
that's just my
there's
opinion. Go
there's
ahead.
there's there's no legal obligation for the club to do that, and they
Then,
won't do that.
okay. In response to that, can I say there's no legal obligation that he leaves? He can sit there and be earning the money. So the club
And he
has a lot more
sits.
to lose than Raheem Sterling, in my opinion.
It
He's not.
depends
He's not
on. It
25,
depends
Bobby.
on. It depends on how you look at it. If you think the club has something to lose by that, and they don't want to waste money, but they're not legally obliged to pay him something. And if I were the club per se, if he threatens that, I will just fold my arms. Now, if there is a club that wants him and he wants to go there and take a
Mm.
wage cut, that's his arrangement with that club. If he turns around and says to Chelsea, hey, look, the only thing he can do is come cap in hand and say, hey, look, I really believe that I'll be here with you, and this is a sudden thing, and I've lost wages. So can you possibly, you know, give me something? But that's an appeal. That's if he makes it an appeal, then the club might consider it. If he makes it a demand, the club will shut down.
Then
I
ego
don't
will
think.
come into play.
Well, then exactly. I don't think he is in a position. The club has made it 150% clear that he will not play for Chelsea again. Now, how he wants to take it is up to him. If he wants to play football, he will move. If he doesn't want to play football, he can sit on his wages. Fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
but yeah.
have to. So I believe he has nothing to gain by sitting on his wages. He's still a player that clubs will want.
That is
It's
if he
just
still
that,
has the drive to play.
yeah, I think he still does. He's not going to just stop playing like that. He's not. And there are many clubs that will still want Raheem Sterling. Absolutely. Juventus, there are many clubs that will want him. But clubs will not want to pay 350 or 325K per week. That's not going to happen. I believe he will be well paid, but not up to that amount. Now, he cannot hold Chelsea responsible for his wages when he moves on. That's ridiculous. If
Yeah.
Chelsea decide to give him some sort of bonus, that's up to Chelsea. But if he says, oh, you told me to leave, you have to pay me, bullshit. You're on your wages anyway. So you want to play football, you jog on. You want to sit on the fact that they've taken his shirt number away from him is a message that they're prepared to keep paying him to sit in the reserves. They don't do these things
But deep
lightly.
down, Bobby, you and I know they don't want to be paying him to sit in the reserves. It's
They
they want him
Joe,
gone.
uh,
Yeah.
coach, they don't
Yeah.
want to do it. They don't want to do it, but they will do it if they have to. It's like Lukaku. Lukaku will never play for Chelsea again. Now they will help him find a solution to go elsewhere, but he's not playing for Chelsea. And if he likes, he can sit on those wages and sit in the development squad. And of
Yeah.
course, he doesn't want to do that. And the same is with Sterling. Sterling won't want to do that. Now the club will help him find a solution, going to another club, but to turn around and tell the club, oh, you have to pay me, for what? We're paying
Mm.
you already. You see the
All right.
point?
Yeah, I'm
And
with you. Yeah.
that is exactly how the club lawyers will look at it. You can't do
Yeah.
that. If not, every player would do that. Oh, you're going to sell me, compensate me. BS. You can't start that, president. That means you're paying players to leave. That's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever how that turns out in due time, we will find out. I keep dropping the likes on the stream. I'll still come back to Bobby. I know a lot of you like to listen to him, but let's move on first. Victor is one of them you want to explore, and we have what's the name here? Barcy Cassidy. In your opinion, would you rather make the amount of signings as Chelsea per season or Liverpool? I don't know how many players Liverpool signed, and the players we signed, we didn't sign them all at the same time. If anything, we were courageous enough to know, like, yeah, these players, the players we have, they will not be enough, and we went into the market and bought a lot more with the intent of moving on some of the ones that are surplus to requirement. I don't care how many players we have. And one thing is this, they all don't train at the same time. They all don't come on the pitch at the same time. Only only a select few trains with the manager. Even he has said it openly. But the media, they do know how to blow these things out of context or out of proportion. I'm not sure what other language to use just to. They like exaggerating the situation for clicks. Even if we have 50 players, we don't field 50 players at the same time. And I'm quite sure the clubs, look at how many we've moved on. We've moved on more than five since that talk of the size of our squad emerged, but you still hear the media talk about the size of our squad as if none have gone out. Yeah, I'm not concerned. The manager has said when they brought it up before him, he told them, look, I'm not working with the 40 plus of them. It's not his dilemma or it's not his cup of tea. It's the clubs. The clubs should be or should deal with that. And they're doing that effectively. I've never been concerned with regards to the size of our squad. And if you sometimes when I tell people if it wasn't for the size of our squad last season, chances are we'd be playing in the championship right now. It's really that simple. But thank you. I don't would I honestly I don't know how to answer your question correctly because I don't know the size of Liverpool's squad. Victor Osimhen will eventually give in with Lukaku ready to join Napoli. I don't see a reason for him staying at Napoli and compete with Lukaku. I think he wouldn't risk that because Lukaku is Antonio Conte's boy. But the truth remains, in terms of giving in, I'd say, yeah, he wants to leave Napoli. The question is where he ends up. Napoli want him gone too. Um, his salary will be an issue for them. Yes, he will need a settlement. Bobby Sterling will lower his wages at the next club, and Chelsea will need to pay him off. Yep, for him to accept to lower a wage and leave. So, from many angles, Bobby, if you get my argument, he has the upper hand. I get it. We can pretend and say, yeah, we don't mind you sitting, you training with the academy, but we don't want you near the first team. But the truth remains, deep down, we want him gone. He's become a liability, irrespective of. But we found a way to send him the message that we don't want you because we don't want him to sit around and say, "I want to stay and fight for my place." Whereas, in fact, what he's saying in real sense is that, yeah, I want to stay and be earning money. If you want me, go and do something. I think he will definitely get something from us. But we'll get to that report. I think it was David Austin who was saying that he's
Well,
looking for some sort of a settlement.
I mean, I can see the point, and it's not impossible. Settlement, is that the way to describe it? I don't know. Look, I don't know is the only, I'll be pretending if I say I know. I know that the club will not put themselves in
Mhm.
a position. He has to find a club in the first place that is suitable for him and that he is suitable for them. And then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I agree. It's a complicated situation. We'll see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. We have a total of 149 people watching, 66 on YouTube, the rest on X. If you're following the show on YouTube, please kindly take a second, drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let's get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. I think we can. Let's see what else we have here. Good
Coach,
morning, Mr. Onyed. Go ahead.
Coach,
Go ahead.
I have to respond to this Vic guy because I've been ignoring a lot of things he keeps saying, and listen, Vic, all this talk of how badly Chelsea have treated Sterling from Rio Ferdinand and all that. This is rank hypocrisy. Rank hypocrisy. This same media that are screaming and shouting about Raheem Sterling were throwing him under the bus recently when it came to purchasing a house for his mother. This same media keep their mouths shut when Man United absolutely destroy the career of Donny van der Beek. Man United have got Sancho on his knees looking for another club. Please don't talk to me about treating Sterling badly. It's BS. This is football. This is quite simply football. He doesn't fit the criteria. He's not cost effective. Jog on. Why is everybody getting so knotted about this nonsense? When he was busy fluffing his lines for Chelsea left, right, and centre, all the fans wanted him out. All of a sudden now, it's like he's a victim. Ah, do me a favour. People should grow up, man. Grow
No,
up.
here's in terms of Raheem Sterling being a victim. I don't agree with that part. It is what it is. The club doesn't want you, but it's moving on isn't that simple. I think we've always known that's the case. I don't buy into the idea that he's been mistreated or anything.
Nonsense.
Yeah, that
If
this is
they
my opinion.
if they're
I
gonna
think
if they're going to compensate him, fine, compensate him. But one thing I can assure you, he has no future at Chelsea Football Club anymore. So all these people getting on their high horse about it, yada yada yada. Please go look at Donny van der Beek. Please go look at Aaron Ramsey. Going further back, look at what happened to Ozil. Look at what happened to Aubameyang. I mean, come on, this is football. It happens. So all these Arsenal, ex-Man United, ex-Liverpool, just using this as another reason to try and throw shade at Chelsea, it's laughable. It's laughable. Donny van der Beek is still, what, 24 years old. Man United have completely destroyed that child's career. Destroyed it. Nobody's talking about this. It's criminal what they've done to him. Absolutely criminal. So how about that? Let's focus on that. That's a real problem, not Raheem Sterling, who's at the end of his career and is being paid handsomely every week. Chelsea haven't stopped paying him. Chelsea have not stopped
no,
paying
they
him.
have no. Actually, they have no right to stop paying him.
Well, look at the guy at Barcelona when they wanted to get him out. Oh gosh, what's that
The
midfielder?
Dutch international.
Yeah, they
No, there
wanted to
was
get
at
him
the time they were citing some malpractice, but when his contract was signed, that somebody
politics.
lied, cheating, and all that. But in the case of Raheem
Politics.
Sterling, if you're not firing him, if he hasn't done anything that warrants him getting fired, you should. If you don't want him, you will still be paying him until he gets another club.
Barcelona,
But go ahead, with what you were saying.
Barcelona, Barcelona stopped paying. Gosh, what's his name? My head's gone with this. They stopped paying him for about 6, 7 months.
Just go with the Dutch international.
Yeah, the Dutch midfielder. 6 or 7 months. He refused to leave. He said he always wants to play, and eventually he stayed. So football's full of these things. But when it comes to Chelsea, all of a sudden everybody gets a bee in their bonnet. Maresca came out very, 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 very clearly. He says he has 22 players, 20 some days, 21 some others. He has nobody else in his group that he's training. The rest is up to the sporting directors to know what to do with them. So all your Ben Chilwells, your Chalabars and Kepas and all those Brojers, they're not training with Maresca's group. They are surplus to requirement. That's why the word exists, surplus. Now, I understand Bournemouth is picking up Kepa. There's some sort of deal going on there with a loan and maybe an option to buy because Chelsea have extended his contract by a year. Broja, I don't know what the solution will be for that. Ben Chilwell, there's things going on in the background, as with Sterling. I don't know whether there'll be compensation there, whether they'll be moved on, whatever. The issue of compensation is a discussion. I'm open to it. You know, I have my position. Coach has his. Let's see what the club will do. But to
Mhm.
bring out violins and start saying, "Oh, Sir Sterling is so badly treated. Oh, how wicked Chelsea are!" Oh, come on, please.
All right.
What I
Let me
have to
catch up with
say.
what we have in the chat. Come back to the panel so we can move on to the next topic and keep dropping the likes and the stream people. The likes do go a long way. Thank you for 61 likes. We will get to that in a bit. Ooh, nice to see you. Ooh, and DJ is in the house. Big up, Kachila. Big up to you too, DJ. Always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. We have also Chelsea should not forget to look at another defender. It's up to them to decide. Rumors are that we could still sign another defender, but it does
Big up,
depends
DJ.
on the patros. Vic is saying it was from Peter Kenyon, our former CEO. He said it's more difficult to sell a player than we think. Sterling is up for selling, and that makes it more difficult. Listen. We've always
Yeah,
known
I
the
can accept that.
salary will make it very difficult to move him on.
Yeah, I can accept that. You know, that's reasonable talk. You know, we know it's going to be tough. But I think the
Yeah,
point
we've always known
the,
that would be the case. Yeah.
the point we're making is that Chelsea have taken a position and it's not going to change. And and Sterling is not abused. Let's put it that way. He's just been told that he doesn't fit the club going forward. So everybody's in agreement with that. He's still going to get his pay while we find whether compensation, whether another club. That's fine. My mine is I don't like this narrative that somehow he's been maltreated, because these people from these other clubs coming out with this have committed far more heinous situations. And I will continue beating the drum for Donny van der Beek, who innocently went to Man United, what was that, 3 years ago, and has been put in the stands. They haven't even given the kid the opportunity to go to another club. They've destroyed his career. What? And they're coming to preach to Chelsea? No.
All right. Once again, I'm gonna catch up what we have so we can move on to the next topic. They will compensate him. I think Bobby agrees it's a possibility. I think something else as well. What we're talking about here. Just give me 1 second. Let me respond to my wife. Uh, oh, it won't work now. All right, let's see what else we have. They will compensate him. It's let's see. Again, definitely, I think he gets something because it looks it's he's what he's saying and what his camp, what they're saying for me comes across as definitely they're looking for some sort of uh compensation, in my opinion. But Bobby, somebody says thank you for your comment there. PSG won't be signing Osimhen. I've always thought that that's the case, but that I'm not saying for certain that's the case. If the board wants him, they will get him. The only scenario that was quite unfair was Diego Costa, because he did the talking on the pitch, unlike Sterling, who isn't showing a value for the money. And Conte got. Conte, you could say the way he treated Diego Costa, you could argue he didn't treat him fairly, but I don't want to get into that. It depends on who you ask. None of the media, according to DJ, cared when Sterling was not picked for England in the Euros. All of a sudden, the media care. They are a bunch of frauds. Vic, especially Henley
Especially Henry
Winter,
Winter. Yeah.
who
Thank you,
hated
DJ.
since Jose's reign. Okay. Thank you for
Thank you,
that. Vicky
DJ.
saying
Yeah,
the young.
that's truth.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, DJ. That's for real. That's real talk. Nobody cared. It's just another. And yeah, thanks, Vic. That's De Jong we're talking about. They didn't pay his wages. Think that they're just using this to throw at Chelsea. Look, I know money's the game. We're in the money business. Football is money, and they may well be looking for compensation, and some sort of compensation is probably being discussed. But to try and demonize Chelsea simply because they don't want to go on forward with a player that, in all honesty, has not served us well. Raheem Sterling hasn't served us well to the capacity he was bought. He was a mistake. And I think the club have looked at that and said, okay, mate, time to move on. That's my point. It's not maltreatment, it's football. That's the only point I'm making. And come round all this demonizing Chelsea, talking about the number of players. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. We just had this issue with the club being bought 2 years ago, just going on 3 years ago. We've had to reset ourselves. They're trying to rebuild from the bottom up. Yes, mistakes were made. Yes, there were players that were bought that shouldn't have been. It's going to happen this way, unfortunately, until they get the ship steady and they get it right. Thank God we have the money to go through it all.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let's see. DJ saying here, Dacho Fafana going on loan to Everton. Broja's deal to Ipswich back on, and Tino Angerin going to Empoli. Thank you so much for that update. And we have Nabike Emmanuel. Nice to see you, Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you so much. We appreciate you finding the time to join us. And Vicky's crying. Vicky's saying, I thought DJ liked me. He backed Bobby. I'm done coaching. Sorry about that, but I can provide you with tissue.
Right.
I don't think he was mentioning you. If you look at, or maybe he was just telling you something. Frank the Young is an interesting one. Before window shut, especially since Barcelona cannot register Dani Olmo, they have to sell one before they can register Olmo. Their
Yeah.
situation are again always bent one way or the other. Okay.
Look, another thing, coach, if I may add.
Mhm.
Barcelona went and brought this kid from Brazil, Victor Roque. What have they done with him? They kept him on the bench, then on the stands, and I think now they've shipped him off to what's that other club?
I know he's left them, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure where he's going. I can't quite
yeah.
remember.
Victor Roque, that was looked at as one of the most talented young
We were
strikers out there.
interested at the time, actually.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, this is football. It happens, and I know Barca are desperate to offload. Who is it? They really need to sell because they've got their eyes on what's the right back, the winger from Bayern, and of course they want to register Olmo, but they've got to sell at least two players. So I'm going to see how that's going to pan out. They're going to freeze out somebody.
Yeah. It's not that simple, really. All right, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream. We still have a total of 154 people watching, 66 of those on YouTube, the rest on X. Please, if you're following the show on X, do us a favor, drop a like on the video, share the video, help us reach more people. Do the same on YouTube. Drop a like on the video, and also do subscribe to our channel if you haven't. We do appreciate you. So thank you. What haven't I read here? Okay, DJ saying something. So let's move on to the next item. I think it's probably still Victor Osimhen. After this one, we go to this one here, which says PSG are yet to take action. I think they're out of the race. They don't want him. PSG is the preferred destination of Victor Osimhen, who's not excited about the idea of joining Chelsea. I think that's absolute horse dunk. Then if you talk if you talk to Mikel, he'd tell you he wants to come to Chelsea. So everything comes down to him. His salary demands now, and Chelsea's preference, really. If we're being honest here, I think he wants to come to Chelsea. But maybe if we waste time too much, he'd decide to go somewhere else, and not come to Chelsea. That's up to him. Vic, there you go. DJ extending again, just letting you know he's not fighting with you. But that's, by the way, I don't even want to entertain this. I still think that PSG, he's not a priority target for them. Maybe if they get the opportunity to sign him for cheap, they do that. If he really wants to join them, which I don't think so. If he's smart enough, he'd know that he's not Lucha's type of striker, in my opinion, because he'd have to change the way he approaches the game to accommodate him. That's just my opinion, anyway. Yeah, I know Vic understands. He's just playing around. Let's go. The next item here talks about Vic. That's Fabrizio Romano saying, why is this open? I don't want to close the other one. Okay, I'm just gonna have to do that. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, Fabrizio Romano is suggesting that we keep our eyes on Jhon Duran to Chelsea Football Club because we still want him. The kid has good potential. He's a different profile from all the attacking players we have. But I'd rather we go for an experienced number 9 than go to another number 9 we know fully well is still developing and wouldn't be actually that different uh what's the Nicolas Jackson. But we and also now we have we let's just stick with Nicolas Jackson, in my opinion. I wouldn't want us to sign Jhon Duran. He's a talent, and in the future could end up becoming one of the best strikers in world football. But right now, he's so raw; it's no funny. I think I'd like us to go for more experienced players. But again, if we end up signing him, I'd be grateful because I prefer him over Omar Dion. Jhon Duran has Premier League experience, while Jhon Duran doesn't, and I'm glad we didn't sign him, but I'd rather we sign Osimhen, who's more experienced than Jhon Duran. But if we end up with Jhon Duran, I will support him, but hopefully that's not the case. But Bobby, let's hear you. The kid is good. I don't mind the complaints about the people complaining that he has attitude issue. That's something you could argue a lot of good players have. Players that are confident in their ability are almost always arrogant to an extent, maybe, or they do have attitude issues. Sancho to Chelsea, we will get to that particular topic in a bit. Yeah,
I
let's hear Bobby's take on Duran. Bobby, that's Vic also asking you, what's your take on Duran?
Yeah, I have to agree with you. It's not really my choice at this point in time. I have a feeling, and it's just a feeling, that it's a smokescreen. it's a candle, it's a carrot dangled in front of the whole Osimhen thing to tell him that, look, we've got our eye on you, we want you, but there are alternatives. Um, I would be surprised if that happens. But with Chelsea, nothing can really ever really surprise us. But I would be surprised. I stick to my corner. I think Chelsea is holding out for Osimhen, and I think Osimhen is holding out for Chelsea. That's how I see it at this point in time. And unless anything else really happens to the contrary, that's what I believe.
And do you know why I'm inclined to believe your theory, Bobby? If indeed we're desperate or eager to bring in, just give me 1 second here. What is going on here? Let me see.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's Twitter. Okay, Twitter connection has an issue. If indeed we're desperate to bring in a number 9, why wait to the end? You get you get my opinion, Bobby.
Yeah, there's a lot of brinkmanship going on at the moment.
Yeah,
It's a bit of a merry-go-round. It's almost akin to the whole Gallagher, João Felix situation. I think very, very much is linked to it is Lukaku. Where I think, when we see Lukaku lifting up that Napoli shirt, I think we'll suddenly have something land for Osimhen. I really believe that. I don't see anything else indicating to the contrary of that. But as I've said, it's just a gut feeling. I don't know anything for sure. So all the talk of Duran and all that, you're going to hear other strikers coming up because it's still a little thing telling Osimhen, look, we're still going to talk about these wages and you're not really the only guy out there. But what is perfectly clear to me right now, if I'm brutally honest, is Osimhen will really, really he will take this Chelsea to another level. This team is
yeah, he
formidable
will,
going forward.
irrespective of again what anybody thinks of him. Go ahead, Bobby.
The team is already formidable going forward. He will just be. Could you imagine him there last on Sunday? It would have been a tear up. It would have been like 15-2. He would have probably scored two hat tricks. That's how deadly he would just be. And Jackson doesn't have to really fear because Jackson's way of playing would complement him. They would all rotate.
Yeah,
Nkunku,
Jackson is not a traditional number 9.
no, he's not. Nkunku would be forced to rotate. And I'm glad because, with his fitness issues, he doesn't need to be that main guy. Um, it's quite clear to me right now that the striker for Chelsea is Osimhen. Whether that happens, time will tell. But I think it's clear to them as well. And I think all parties around are pushing that direction. But the key to it all is the conclusion of the deal for Lukaku.
Yeah, thank you so much. Unfortunately, for those of you who are following the show on X, it looks like we're having a connection issue with X. Not from our end. Our connection is just perfect. But I'm getting a signal letting me know that we've been disconnected from X. I just do not know why that has happened. But I'm going to give the microphone back to those in the chat, and then I'll get back to the panel in a bit. And thank you so much for the likes. We have 71 likes. Let's try and get it to 100 likes as soon as possible. We still have 164 people watching, and out of those, 68 on YouTube. The rest on X. It looks like we're still connected to X. Otherwise, it wouldn't be 160 plus. What? Okay, you've heard Bobby's take on Jhon Duran. Duran, nope. For me, I'd rather Osimhen. But if we end up with Duran, I will support him because for me, I get it. It's easy to look at when we miss chances, just like we did against Manchester City, to start arguing. We need a strikers. We need a traditional number 9, but we've added Felix, who for me, anytime, who in my opinion, anytime, any day, is a fine finisher. even if we end up not signing any strikers, any number 9, I'd still be okay. In my opinion, the because Osimhen, the manager, I'm not sure. I'm just gonna let me leave my argument when he comes first. A big up to you too, Willie. Bless, nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Big up, coach. I think Osimhen and his agents are stubborn. He should accept a slight pay cut and join us. That's just your opinion. No, he gets what he wants. Of Osimhen not preferring Chelsea, he is the only journalist that has said that. Who has said that? Big up to you too, my bro. Always nice to see you. You were on this morning, but I didn't have time at the time to say hello when you guys were discussing. I think the Jackson when you guys were discussing the Jackson Mikel back and forth. But always nice to see you, bro. I appreciate you finding the time to join us. And people go and check out my bro's YouTube channel. Sorry, I haven't found time to create uh, uh, I haven't found time to create a command for him. I should be doing that. A lot of people that I want to create commands for because I don't want to start screaming. Go and check out my bro's YouTube channel. I would just trigger the command so you can go check it out. But my bro Ankit, my brother from another mother, is in the house. Go check out his YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Let's help him get to 20,000 subscribers as soon as possible. He deserves that. Just click the 3 dots by his name and then click go to channel. Coach, I think Carney is staying. Now Kaliman is going out on loan. It's a possibility. I'm not too sure what's going to happen. Even that's a chance Morgi leaves on loan. If we sign Osimhen, definitely Morgi will live on loan. Almighty Blues FC, thank you, bro. You don't have to do this, and you know that. Pierre character looking at himself in the mirror, saying, "Thanks for being you." With hurts, with hurts popping out of his eyes. Okay, that's you, the emoji you use. I like that. But thank you, bro. Much love. You know, you don't have to do this. It's all love, bro. You and I are brothers. We've gone beyond being fellow content creators to brothers, but much love to you, and I will reciprocate whenever I have time. Coach, check CFC Daily. Just share it with me if you're on Twitter. Lee for Republic of South Africa says the question is, Osimhen, does he really want to come to us? He already agreed to PSG, but at the time we weren't pushing. You have to show interest. But right now we're interested according to reports. But we have to, even if he wants to come to us, he's not coming to work for free. You would have to pay him something that he'd look at compared to offers he's had from other clubs that are interested and decide whether, yeah, he can come to us. Greetings to my brother. Greetings to you too. Zion, you guys don't have to do this, but you guys are killing me with love. And when I get a chance, I will reciprocate. Much love to you, brother. I appreciate you. Is that yeah. Keep doing what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You've come a long way and you've mastered the art. Look how quickly your channel is growing right now. You have averaging at least 1,000 views per stream every day. Consistency matters. And I thank you so much. Let me read what my bro has to say. Say greetings to my brother. Chelsea Perspective dropping the minerals. Much love to everyone. Much love to you too, Nee. I cannot thank you enough. BCM is the command. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes to go along where it says if Victor Osimhen did not want to come to Chelsea, a slight pay cut, he should take a slight pay cut to join. I think we've addressed that before. Let him move to Saudi Arabia. He may well end up moving to Saudi Arabia, but we will find out. I'm not too sure what's going to happen. I have a feeling, Coach, our rivals will sign him sadly. Uh, Okay, if Sancho should come to Chelsea, that means Mudrik will be going out on loan. I doubt that, but we'll see. It's not my opinion anyway. Yes, bro, always available for you. Thank you so much. Much love. And I cannot thank you enough, and I will make it up to you. You know you don't have to do that, but you're just doing that to show your bro you do care. So thank you so much. Anything else to address here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. And this command that I've triggered, which reads, big up, need people. Go and subscribe to my bro's YouTube channel. The link is there. Let's help him get to 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible. He deserves as many subscribers as that. And we have Mr. Onoli here, Steve Onoli. That's an Igbo name. Hello from India, coach. How you day, coach? Yep, that's my bro. I tell you, say them go collect water. And they are doing that anyway. But much love to you. I cannot thank you enough, brother. Thank you so much for finding the time to join us. I think Bobby has spoken. DJ, do you have anything to say about who is that particular report? Jhon Duran. I'm quite sure you're going to start a fight because you don't want him. You want Victor Osimhen.
Big up Kachilla, big up Bobby,
Big
big up everyone in the
bro.
comments. How you guys all doing? You all good?
I can't complain, bro.
Big up, DJ.
Nah, listen, mate, I've got nothing against Duran Kachilla. I knew you were going to try and throw that one on me so I can start something up in it. No, not like that. I obviously, as I said already, I'll keep saying it. My choice is always going to be Victor Osimhen. It will continue to be Victor Osimhen until the end of this window. But obviously, there are talks coming out today that they are looking at alternatives. Should it not happen, and Jhon Duran obviously is that alternative striker that we could go and get. Now, again, like Bobby, I have to agree with Bobby. I think it might be a bit too early for him to come to Chelsea. I think he's we got another young player. Yes, he's got the experience, probably over Mark Guehi in that kind of like way. So probably I can understand why people would say opt for him. But for me, as I said, if you can't get the Osimhen deal done, then for me, I'll probably just leave it and just concentrate on the centre back. Because we did show yesterday against Wolves what kind of a team we can be without a proper. Well, we had Jackson there, but we did show yesterday what we can do. And we had, let's be real here, we had 6 different scorers on the score list yesterday, and that was, it could have been more. It could have been double figures really had we taken other chances. So look, I want Osimhen because he only just improves our team. And like Bobby said, if he had been in that team yesterday, believe me, you'd have had a hat trick. You'd have had a field day yesterday with the chances that were created. So yeah, look, I hope to God it can happen. I'm not saying in any way my confidence is it will happen. I think it's going to go to the end of the window, even though I want it to be before the end of the window. But I think he'll come in the end because if you look at the situation, he's turned down a move to Saudi. He's opted he wants to come to Chelsea. And if you look at the price at the Saudi that actually was agreed with Napoli, if Chelsea can put that kind of money on the table for him, then I don't see why we can't get this deal done. And you just probably do it on the basis of saying, okay, get us back into the Champions League, and then maybe give him his full whack wages after that. But hopefully they can maybe talk around him into coming first, and I think it can still happen for me.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to catch up with what we have in the chat. Then when I come back again to the panel, we get the rest of the items we have lined up. But more important, people go and check out my bro's YouTube channel. Let's help him get to 10,000 subscribers as soon as possible. He deserves as many subscribers as that. Okay, thank you. Loan spots are full, I think. But for certain age, there's no limit. Correct me if I'm wrong, teacher. And my bro is saying here, I'm not going to talk again, okay? I'm just going to say thank you. So we can move on until I reciprocate. You know what, brother? I appreciate the love. I know it comes from the heart. We've come a long way, and thank you so much. I'm just going to say thank you. And when I can, I will reciprocate in a big way. Tommy, nice to see you, Tommy. I do hope you're doing well. Tommy says, yo, how you feel about João Felix at Chelsea? I love him. When he, after his first stint at the club, his loan spell at the club, I wanted us to keep him, but I knew at the time that it wasn't going to be possible. Atletico at the time, they weren't going to let him go out on loan again. They wanted to sell him on a permanent. And at the time, we spent so much already that I knew we weren't going to pay that much money. But they say what's going to be is going to be. Yeah. Look at him now. He's back at Chelsea, and Chelsea is his home, not a temporary home, but a permanent home. So I'm happy we got him. He's a player I love. And I'm quite sure he's going to surprise a lot of people. No jokes there. And hello to you too, Jay. Nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And who do we have here? Okay, your email there. Osimhen is greedy. Drop your wages. So I like the way you spelled wages there. So you can come to Chelsea. Do you work for free? If you have a job, do you work for free? No. This is Osimhen's job. He has every right to ask for whatever salary he feels like befits his, you can say, his quality as a player, in my opinion. But despite the way, let's move on to the next item we have lined up, and that's this one here, which is from a Transfer News Live, which is saying, quoting a source from Telefootball, Chelsea want to do a swap deal with Manchester United involving Jadon Sancho and Raheem Sterling. Here's my opinion of this particular report. That's another absolute horse dung of a report. And why do I say that? United are looking to reduce their wage bill, and Raheem Sterling he's earning about the same weekly salary as Jadon Sancho, and I'm quite sure, in my opinion, if you ask me, they'd rather keep Sancho, who's younger, than Raheem Sterling, who's older, and it wasn't like he ripped trees last season. Sancho either, but Sancho probably the potential is still there. But Sterling, you could say he's not. You could argue there's no guarantee he'd improve. If anything, his form will continue to drop. But that is my opinion. In your detail, let's say, what do you make of this particular report?
Yeah, very interesting one, Kitchell, I have to say. And, would I be upset at that move happening? Not at all, because I tell you what, even though I know it's not going to happen at all, I think we've got to remember and take into consideration here. And first of all, I'll say the reason why I say it shouldn't happen, because we've already got a lot of wingers already at the football club. So bringing another one in really is not the answer. However, if it was to happen, I wouldn't complain about it. Obviously, you're getting a younger player, and you're also getting a player who supported Chelsea when he was a kid, a boyhood Chelsea fan in Jadon Sancho. And and you just know he comes to Chelsea. I'll be honest with you, mate. Can you just imagine him, Palmer, two of them there, and either Felix Neto or another, providing those kind of balls, or even in Nkunku providing those kind of balls. If Osimhen comes in there, man, that's just going to be that'll be lethal as anything. But I know it's not going to happen. And as I said, very unlikely that Chelsea will pursue this deal, mate. I think it's just all talk.
Hmm. All right, thank you so much for that. And this here, let's see what else we have here. I am surprised we haven't sold so much players at this moment. I think a lot. It's going to be like it's going to be fire sales. Just watch out. There will be fire sales at Chelsea. Sancho is not. I'm guessing. It's not on 250k. It's on. Okay, it's on 250k a week. Makes sense to swap him with Sterling and Chilwell, even if we don't need him. But who cares? Let Sterling. Let me see what this is saying here. Let Sterling and Chilwell be happy at Manchester United. Wow. Let's just give me 1 second here. Let's see what else we have here. How much is he on? Yeah, he's correct. I think I didn't read what he has and what he had there correctly. We still need to find a salon for. Find all alone for Starling, Chile, Chalaba, Petrovic, Dacho, Broya, Washington, Casadei, Chukwemeke, and also Kepa, Lukaku, and
Look,
Anjorin.
DJ has
Moves are
already
not official.
answered.
Go ahead, Bobby.
DJ has already answered that. He's answered a lot of that.
He's answered the one for. Did you answer the one for Dacho Fofana?
Bafana, Angerin, Broja. DJ, speak for yourself. I saw the post you just put up there.
I put that one on there earlier on when I was on the comment section. Kachila, I put on there that the deals for Broja to Ipswich is back on again.
Yeah,
Andrew
you
is
did
going.
answer that. Yeah, very correct. You did. Yeah.
Andrew is going to Empoli, and then you've got Kepa now, who's going to be
You
going.
mentioned Dacho
Dacho
Fofana,
Fofana
didn't
is
you?
going. He apparently is going to Everton on loan, and the other one, Kepa. The other one's Kepa. I think he's going to Burnley. Is it Burnley or Burnley on loan? I saw Bournemouth.
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth, sorry,
Bournemouth.
on loan. But
And
he's
he
going on
has to
loan.
sign an extension first.
Yeah, correct. I don't know about the rest of Washington, Casadei, and Chukwemeka. I don't know about those guys. I know Lukaku's on his way to Napoli, but that could still be part of the Osimhen deal. If you read this morning's reports.
You said what could still be part of the Osimhen deal? Us sending some players to Napoli?
Lukaku. It was mentioned this morning. I tweeted back to Bobby because Bobby put a comment out on X, and I don't know if Bobby saw my response. I responded back to Bobby on that one, and I said to him, apparently this morning the news came out that I think it was known journalists were actually saying that apparently now Chelsea could now look at, even though it was supposed to be a separate deal, but it could be now a deal that could involve Lukaku as well as money going the other way for Osimhen, and Chelsea will be happy to pay Osimhen a high wage as well, was mentioned as well. But that one's been ongoing for quite some time though. About Chelsea happy to pay Osimhen a wage, but people that are thinking it's 500k a week is utter nonsense. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah, we knew that was
Utter
there's no
nonsense.
truth
Sun
to that.
newspaper
Yeah.
reported that. Sun newspaper reported that as well. So you know how nonsense that is.
Yeah. Bobby, the Sancho, Raheem Sterling possible swap deal. Do you believe that? And who's reporting that? Actually, let's look at it again. Telefootball, I don't know, but there are all the
Mhm.
sources that have reported this. Chelsea could consider swapping him with Jadon Sancho, and people are asking the question: we have too many right wingers, and we don't need them. But here's the thing, that's why we're Chelsea. If we can get him, I take him over Sterling. He's still young
I
and can get better. But go
it
ahead, and
doesn't it
he's a Chelsea
doesn't
supporter too. Go ahead, Bobby.
it doesn't make sense, coach. You know,
It doesn't, right?
I've said on countless occasions, Man United are very much, you know, they have their media influence. They're very much in control of media,
Hmm.
social media, just like Liverpool, to a lesser extent Arsenal. They push out a load of nonsense. They are the people behind the, you know, chaos at Chelsea, big squad at Chelsea, was spearheaded by Gary Neville. This is not a true story. It makes no sense. You know, his wages are too high.
He's on
Swapping
two
him
fifty.
doesn't matter. He's not some.
Hmm.
Why pay? Why get a winger and pay him more than the wingers we have there already?
Okay.
It's a pointless exercise. We've got a young winger who is showing such remarkable strides with development. Now, these same people that attack Chelsea, oh, you don't develop your players. Oh, look how badly you treat your players. Now we're encouraging Noni Madueke. Encourage him. He hasn't let us down. He's shown himself to be the most improved attacking player we have currently in the squad. What's the point of Jadon Sancho? I'm not buying it. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, he was a Chelsea fan. Yeah, but you know, these are the emotions that have no real place in functional football. And it's sort of coming back to the Osimhen thing. It's really funny how a player can hold their ground with the wages they demand and all that, but the club can't turn around and tell a player, "Look, we're paying you too much. We want you to move on." It's a brutal thing out there. You know, you've got to be realistic in terms of buying, selling, paying, and not paying. Um, you know, Osimhen's hanging on to his wage demands. That's fine. Chelsea is hanging on to wanting to get rid of their wage bill in the shape of Sterling. That's fine. Jadon Sancho is not part of the equation. I can hang my hat on it, honestly, without even knowing the ins and outs. That's Man United propaganda. Sorry.
That's serious. I don't think we need them. But if it's good business, I think they do it. But I get your point definitely. And Farai Mutanga says, I don't buy the idea of signing Sancho if the reason behind Axon Sterling has something to do with his wages. Instead, let's sign Osimhen and give him Sterling's wages. That makes sense. That's a sensible comment right there.
What message would that send to Noni Madueke? He's done nothing wrong.
No, no,
Yeah.
Bobby's not about what if Nani gets injured. It's not nobody's saying if Madrid. Here's one thing I like about Nani Madrid actually. He does come across to me as a sort of player doesn't care whether you're bringing in Ronaldo. You've heard
Yeah,
that. You've heard his comments. He's here to
yeah,
fight,
yeah.
and he thinks he's going to do better than anybody. That was the exact language he used. So That's why we're Chelsea. I'm surprised you're the one making that argument, Bobby. You're the one that has
Well,
always preached,
well,
bring in the
it,
players we can. I don't think Sancho threatens Madueke, and I don't think Madueke would
it
care.
in this instance, it's an overreach. You know, we've got flexible players like Jao Felix, who could play on the right if we need to rest Madueke. we can only register a 25-man squad to the Premier League. Um, I don't. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense right now. The positions that need covering are centre back. I still think we need one player there, and we probably need to offload players there. And centre forward, which is a vacant position. Anything else? I really think we're well stocked. Midfield, we made a mistake
And that's an
allowing.
argument I can agree with, Bobby, that we're stocked. But if you mention Madueke, it would seem as if Madueke would be concerned if we sign Sancho. I don't think he'd be, but go ahead with what you were saying, bro.
I don't think he'll be concerned, but I don't think it's going to encourage him. If you notice what Maresca did with him on Sunday was he played him the full 90 minutes. He wants to show him that you put in the work and you perform for me, you will play for me. And that's what I want to see. These youngsters, we're bringing them through, we're developing them. That kid is younger than Mudryk. Yet we've all unanimously agreed that we're going to persist with Mudryk, despite the fact that Mudryk is considerably behind everybody else in terms of his development in the forward line. Considerably behind them. So, on that premise, I can't see the point in Jadon Sancho. As much as I like him as a player, it's not a necessary deal to be done. And as I've said earlier, I think a lot of that is Man United propaganda. They're trying to ship him out. Nobody wants to say, "Ooh, how badly you're treating Jadon Sancho." Nobody. It's all about how badly Raheem Sterling, who they don't give a shit about anyway, is just a stick to beat Chelsea with. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. And let me say something quickly, Bobby. It looks like Maresca is the sort of player, a manager that knows how to get into the head of players to get them to do better.
It sure looks that way at the moment.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it does. Look how he played Nani Madik. Even people were thinking he was going to leave. We knew that he wasn't good. He wasn't going anywhere. He played. Yeah, I think he got him to do even more. Look at
Yeah.
him scoring goals with his right foot, not just not his left foot. Um, I like
I'm
that. But go ahead.
I'm for that kid at the moment. I really recognize his development. I think his partnership with Cole Palmer that he has in or had in the England under 21s is coming to the fore. Though that is what we should be encouraging. We've invested a lot in these youngsters. When they're beginning to produce, we don't stifle them, we push them forward, and this is what
Yeah,
this guy is doing.
yeah.
I think one mistake they may have made is sending Ugochukwu on loan. I think right now he would have been the answer in midfield because we're lacking that solid physicality. I know it was you that said that Renato Vega can come in there, and I
He can.
believe he
Yeah, yeah.
can.
He can. He can.
You-
He's Bobby, you should. I
I
know him very well. To promise you, we don't like numbers in that area. I'd rather Ugochukwu continue
what
to develop and come back better. But go ahead with what you were saying.
Well, I get it, but the point there is that what that means is that then we start to overplay players instead of them getting a rest when we have an away game against Serviette. Now we are forced to play Cucurella again, who probably could do with a bit of a rest, and bring in order to bring Vega into midfield because we have no midfielders apart from Enzo, which because I can't see Caicedo playing there. I don't know what's happened to Lavia, but there's no return date on that situation, which really does leave me concerned because we had that
I
last season.
wouldn't, because we were told it's nothing serious, and he himself has said it's
What?
nothing serious. I think we're just being cautious. We don't want to. We have enough midfielders not to push him. We need
Well,
him
we
to
were
recover immediately. But go ahead, what you were saying, Bobby.
we were told that about Ugochukwu last season. We didn't see him for the rest of the season.
And then
You know,
6 months later, he was still.
Exactly. So, we're traumatized. You can't, we are concerned. And I think if we don't see Lavia this season, it'll be a bit of a travesty
No,
because
no,
he's
we will.
shown us he's shown us what he can do. Imagine a fit Lavia performing with that team the way it performed on Sunday. We have a formidable set of players there, and they're beginning to integrate, they're beginning to understand each other and understand the system. He has to be a part of that. But
We're not
anyway,
even
I don't
quite
want to.
there yet. We're not there yet.
No, no, we're
Yeah,
not there at all.
yeah.
I don't want to panic. He says he's okay. The club say he's okay. We have to believe he's okay. We're not seeing him on Thursday, that's for sure. And if we're lucky, we won't see him till Palace on Sunday.
Hmm.
But my point still remains that I feel that Leslie would have been okay in this squad. But fine, we've sent him on loan. There's no reversing that at the moment. And we've sent him to play game in, game out at Southampton. He better play game in, game out, because that would be terrible if he doesn't. Really.
Yeah. All right, let me catch up with what we have. Let's give those in the chat the microphone when I come back if DJ has anything else to say. Otherwise, we'll be moving on to the next topic. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's see. All right, this year reads we still have Estevo and Pies who come next year, so we'll need to sell, not add forward players. I think for them, I'm not too concerned. I'm excited, but yeah, when we get to that bridge, we'll cross it. I don't want to bother myself about it. I would take Sancho. Who knows how our injuries might turn out to be? Yeah, and that's one thing that I'd consider if it wasn't for the for us the squad the size of our squad under Portal, under Mauricio Pochettino, we'd be playing in the championship right now. Big up to you to GFC. Go bird! Nice to see you, bro. Our plan is still in place. We will meet soon. I will arrange a meeting with those other content creators who'd be part of it so that we can sit and plan. We're on getting Sancho. Maybe he's be going to Juve. Juve are really pushing. Yeah, I agree. I think Chelsea Football Club should stop the race of Victor Osimhen and look for an alternative striker instead of Osimhen. We don't know what's going on. We don't even know whether we're seriously pushing to sign him, actually. It's not pointless because Joe Shield raised Foden, Lavia, Palma, and Sancho. Also, Sancho will reduce his wages and stay in the Premier League instead of going to Juventus. The deal may happen. That's a sensible argument there. The deal may well happen. If it takes a swap deal to get rid of Sterling, we will have to do it. But it depends on the salary of the player we'll get in return. And people, GFC Gavin, big up my bro. GFC Gavin is in the house. People, go and subscribe to Gavin's YouTube channel. Let's help him get to 5,000 subscribers as soon as possible. That will go a long way for him. We have a total of 174 people watching, but only 85 of those on YouTube. The rest is on X. If you're watching, if you haven't, please do take a second to drop a like on the stream for us, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We do appreciate that. Those of you who are watching but for one reason or the other you're not able to participate in the chat, just know that we appreciate you, and that's because you watching alone does go a long way. But we want to ask you for one favor, one tiny bitty favor, which is to take a second and drop a like on the video for us. We'd really appreciate that. Anything else to address here? I'm going to see. If not, we'll be moving on to the next item. If we think we're going through this season without injuries, we are mad. Yeah, until we prove we can. Yeah, that's not up to us. Anything else? Having a good conversation there. DJ is everywhere. Napoli now thinking, well, we either have to keep Osimhen or not sign up McTominay, Gilmore, and Lukaku. The club would be gutted if they cannot get Lukaku off their books. Yeah, I think he's gone. But maybe we're playing it safe. Yeah, I don't know why it hasn't been official that Lukaku has left Chelsea. Usually, here we go. These days, I don't know what would be the correct definition of the term. Here we go. We've heard here we go on several occasions, and the player ends up remaining um, where they were. But that's by the way. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. We are going to move on to the next topic, DJ. Except if you have anything else to add before we move on.
Nah, bro, it's all right, all good.
All good. All good. I'm going to start speaking like that.
What? No,
All
bro,
right.
all good, bro, all good, mate.
All
Honestly,
good indeed.
sorry.
Another person that says that a lot, Taron
Yeah.
Sajdiva, you know him. He used to come on to Trust Perspective. Why is this not
Uh,
showing? Deleted. This one is there. Let me see what's going on here. Sorry, we have an issue here. One of the items we have lined up isn't loading. I'm not sure why, but we can talk about Broja, why that happens. And DJ, you did tell us that the Broja
yeah,
deal is back up.
yeah.
Amanda Broja to Ipswich transfer. Oof, shoes. What's going on here? Okay, let me just go like this. Amanda Broja to Ipswich. Ipswich transfer is not yet off. Efforts are being made to keep the Chelsea striker. Chelsea striker's long move alive.
Yeah.
I think he's gone. But let's hear you. Anything you want to add to that? Do you think he leaves on a permanent? I think that's the plan, right?
No, the plan basically is the reason why it didn't happen the first time round, Kuchel, is nothing to do with the paperwork this time. Like it was nothing to do with Chelsea messing up the paperwork. The reason why
Mm-hmm.
it didn't happen the first time round is because I think there was something to do with his injury. Apparently, when he did his when he had his fitness test, they found something up with his injury, and they didn't know they wanted Chelsea to lower the price tag for him, which Chelsea are not refusing to do. So obviously, as we know, Ipswich during the week they lost again, and clearly you can see they're missing a striker. And I think that's why this one's come back into fruition again. And I think it could possibly go through, but it's going to be the same situation it was before. He'll go on loan until the end of the season. If Ipswich do stay up, then they'll have to pay the full whack 30 million for him. But they won't. But Chelsea will not lower the price. Not my understanding, what I've been told. So it's more or less the same as it was the first time round. What held up was the injury when he had his fitness test. Apparently, he didn't do well in the
Mm-hmm.
fitness test, and that's the reason why they were not prepared to pay that kind of money. But obviously, their situation over the weekend is they lost. They need a striker, and they're now revisiting that. They're now revisiting the deal for Broja to go out there on loan again.
Do you think they're gonna stay up? I'm just saying that, given that the deal we have with
It's
them,
yeah.
for them to pay us £30 million, they'd have to stay up, right?
100% they'd have to step. It's a difficult one to say if they're going to step. I'll be honest with you, Kuchela. I watched their first two games, which to be fair, and they've been unlucky. They've, I mean, I don't know if you know they took the lead against Manchester City, and then all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden, the Manchester City just came along and just blew them away with Haaland again. So look, they are looking good in what I've seen. Obviously, Kieran McKenna, the manager, he's got them playing a nice way of playing football, and as we all know, he was linked with the Chelsea job before. So he's obviously got them playing the way he's got them playing a good way, but he just hasn't got the striker to put the ball into the back of the net for them. And I think Broja could just fit that kind of. He's a kind of player that he could take under his wing and get the best out of him. And I think if he goes there, I think you see Broja scoring the goals, and hopefully it'll keep Ipswich up, and the deal gets made permanently. But yeah, they've been unlucky in their first two games, to be fair to them, and they've had two tough games as well. They started the season pretty with two hard teams to play, so you expect them to lose them kind of games, which was obviously the factors. But they're not going to be playing those kind of teams week in, week out, obviously, are they? The big guns. So I expect them to start hopefully picking up points from now on Ipswich.
Yeah, but you have anything to say about Amanda Broja, or should we move on?
We can move on. I think DJ's more up to date with that one than I am. Um, if Chelsea are not adverse to reducing his price, which makes sense, fine, let it go through. And if they stay up, then I don't know, DJ, if the terms are still the same if they pay the 30 million if they stay up, or the 30 million payment is reduced if they stay up. How does it work?
If they stay up, that's when they pay out 30 million to purchase him on a permanent. I think.
Yeah,
I think that's yeah. But go ahead, DJ. You know the
yeah,
situation better than I
yeah.
do.
Basically, Bobby, if they are to stay up, then
Mm.
they have to pay the 30 million. That's what the deal was. That's what the deal that's been agreed originally with them. Obviously, they tried to reduce it, as I said, because they tried to find an injury in Broja when he done his fitness test. But clearly,
Mm.
it was not as bad as they were trying to make it out to be. So what they were telling Chelsea then is reduce your price. We're not going to pay that kind of money. But Chelsea refused to do that. They're not going to reduce the price for him. And now the deal's coming back on again because obviously they need a striker, and it isn't like they can get their hands on anyone who I don't know who fits the way they play football. And I think the manager is actually a big fan of Broja, and I think he wants to bring him in. So, yeah. But as far as I know, the deal stays as it was before. He goes on loan for the season. They stay up. They have to pay the 30 million, which I do believe is an obligation. I think that's an obligation for that price, 30 million.
It's a shame that even a club like Ipswich are playing silly games.
Yeah,
That's very underhanded. Anyway,
yeah,
let's hope it goes through. But I don't like that sort of thing. That's what you not usually get from Italian clubs and that. No disrespect to them, but
yeah.
the likes of Napoli, that's a sort of underhanded thing they try. That's not cricket, as you put it, if to put it that way.
No, but you know what? It's all coming down to Bobby. Yeah, I think it's more to the fact that I think because Chelsea need to sell before the window shuts, as you know, we need to get quite a lot of players off the books before the window shuts. Every club is now going to try their best to get a cheap price out of Chelsea. But obviously, Chelsea have set their
Yeah.
price tag for these players, and either
Yeah.
they pay them or they just stay on the wage bill and they don't go anywhere.
Yeah, that's well, let's see. I think they'll shift most of them. There may be one or two. It seems very much that Chalobah is quite prepared to try and find a way back into that first team, which is admirable. But at this point, I think it's getting a bit silly. I think he has to, for the sake of his career, see the handwriting on the wall and accept a
Yeah,
move.
I mean, if
yeah.
you're not wanted, you're not wanted. It's really that simple. I'm not sure what he's
Exactly.
doing for the sake of
What
his
we,
career. Indeed, go ahead, Bobby.
I mean, what we
Yeah,
don't want, guys. I was just going to say, sorry, Bobby. What was I going to say? We don't want another Winston Bogart problem. Do you remember that situation? Do you
yeah,
remember?
yeah.
What happened really? Can you tell us, TJ? What happened with Bogart? I know he played for Chelsea, but what happened?
Bobby, do you want to go on this
Yeah,
one? Go
he
on, Bobby. Probably
he
explains it better. God.
he because he was substituted a few times and went into rotation.
Yeah,
He was given the option to leave. That's what we're saying. This thing
yeah,
about players when you're surplus to requirement, it didn't just start today. And he said no, he's not going to leave. He's just going to sit there, claim his money,
yeah,
and
He said
not
that.
play football.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
More or less.
that was he was one weird character. It's really really weird. I mean, and he wasn't that old, and he had a
No.
long contract, and he just stopped playing football, and was taking his wages from Chelsea. Um, Very weird situation. Very weird. I don't think Chalobah is quite like that because
No,
Chalobah actually wants to play for
No,
Chelsea,
yeah.
he does. He
but
does.
But I think at this stage, as much as we all love him, and I love Chalobah, I think he's the best centre back we've got. But
100%.
when it's abundantly clear that the club don't have you in their plans, and you've had other clubs come, Villa have come, Forest have come, and you're turning your nose up at them, it starts to get a bit silly. You're a fantastic player, you would fit into most clubs in the world, not to mention the country. I think he should just move.
Yeah, I think he should
Stop
move
reaching.
really, but maybe maybe his pastor told him to wait there. The opportunity will come, and it worked for him last season. It could work again, but last season we had no option than to bring him in because he had too many injuries at the time. Then we realized him not leaving was a blessing in disguise. He turned out, you could say, some sort of, you could call him our saving grace towards the end of the season. But that's, by the way, Tariq George. I've read all these guys there on the screen there. Let's see what else we have here. And this is Siaka, South Africa. Yes, I'm concerned about Lavia. I do think he will be needed within the midfield of the squad. He's shown me good football. He reads the game well, protects our defensive line better than any of the midfielders we have right now. He will be back. I don't think it's anything serious. I think if it's serious, they're not going to lie to us. But I'm concerned, given what Bobby mentioned with regards to the case of was it not even Carney? It was the same thing, not just Leslie Lukaku. We were told it was just a niggle that in a week's time they'd be available for selection, and 6, 7, 8 months and forever. We didn't see them again. Ipswich, in my opinion, they will get relegated. But let's see. They're making some good signings, and chances are they still sign more players. And if they sign good enough players, they will survive. That's just my opinion anyway. I think Chalobah may end up at Palace. It's a possibility. He may well stay. It doesn't look like he cares that much. What else we have here? We have Gamin Gonis saying Salfafana and Kip Chalobah. That's his opinion. 40K per week, and he got every damn penny. Sterling can learn something. Who's on 40K per week? Chalobah. Is that his salary?
I think
Wow.
so. Yeah,
I think it
yeah.
might be.
Yeah,
I
that's not
guess
a
so.
lot.
It's not
Wow.
a
I
lot
thought
at
Luka.
all.
Yeah, I thought
I
Lukaku
think
had gone to. Go ahead, Bobby.
I think what he might be waiting for is for Gui to go to Newcastle and then he'll go to Palace. Um, that's what makes sense to me. But sitting around waiting for a Chelsea position is a little bit pie in the sky. I mean,
And the fact
Chelsea,
that
that's
no club
probably
has
going
really
to.
pushed to sign him.
They have, but he's rejected
Yes.
them.
Oh, he
Yeah.
has. Okay, he's
Ast-
rejected. Okay.
yeah. Palace, Aston Villa are just two clubs in the Prem that want him. And I know he's also got interest, I do believe, from abroad as well. I think a couple of clubs in Italy are looking at him as well, aren't they, Bobby?
Yeah, Italy. I mean, even Spurs wanted him, but I'm glad he's rejected them. But he's got his suitors, but
Yeah.
he's not interested. He's either Chelsea or some club that is highly attractive to him, like Bayern. But Bayern, unless the Tar deal completely falls through, I can't see them going for him again, especially with Tuchel not there. Um,
Bayern's game yesterday was a nail biter, but go ahead.
well, that's how I see it. I think what is probably gonna, he's waiting for, or rather, his agents are probably waiting for Gui to go to Newcastle, and then he'll go to Palace. There, he will definitely be front and center of their defense. It's a shame because, as I say, I still think he's our best centre back. I really do.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying too. Even Vix is saying something to that effect on here, which says if Gui leaves, Palace could come for Chalobah. I thought Lukaku. I thought he'd already gone to Napoli. That's. I think he's gone. I believe so. Courtney is saying, but if he's better than most of our defenders, why should he? Why should he go to a club lower than Chelsea? Yeah, and why hasn't the biggest of clubs come? Why aren't they clamoring for his signature? Nothing like that. No, he says no. I was talking about Winston Bogart at the time was on 40K a week. He was on 40K a week, and he got every wages until the end.
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah. He did.
Like he sat down and said, "No,
I
you
think
want me gone? Okay, I'm gonna see. I'm not going anywhere." I didn't know
uh,
he did that at Chelsea.
he did. He had one start, Kachilla. One start, bro. I think he had one start, and he was absolutely. And Bobby remember, he was absolutely horrendous in that defense, and he was just
It's
dropped.
terrible.
In it, Bobby. He was just
Yeah.
dropped, and that was it. He just never played. He just never got a look into the team anymore after that. I think, and yeah, he just sat on his bench and said, "You know
Who
what?
signed him?
Oh God, who was it at the time?
Colin
Uh,
Hutchinson, wasn't it?
Colin Hutchins. Yeah, it was for Colin. Who's the? I think who's our manager then, Bobby? Colin Hutchins. Was it? Who was it?
I think it was.
Was it?
No, it wasn't a
It
Viali
wasn't under
signing.
Viali signing. It wasn't.
It went as far back as what's the guy that went to England? Hoddle, wasn't it?
Hoddle. That's it. Glenn Hoddle.
It
Yeah,
was.
Glenn
He
Hoddle.
came in with Hoddle, and at that time when we were picking up all these stars like Hullet and so on, but
Gullit.
and he
Yeah,
had
Gullit.
that good.
Dan Petrescu.
Yeah, he had that good European Championship on the right wing back with Holland, and that's
Yeah,
why we bought him. And he just sat there. So I guess the lesson in that is that it's not ideal, but Chelsea as an entity, they will do that. You can't force them to play you. And if you want to play silly buggers and wreck your career, fine. They know they made a contract with you and they'll honor it. It's their prerogative whether to pay you to play or pay you to do nothing, basically. Um, so, I don't think, I would be surprised if Sterling goes for that option. I really would. I don't think he's that sort of person. I think he has more to offer football. And I think he knows that. It's just they don't fancy you. Move on. If you want compensation, fair enough. But, you can't keep forcing people, oh, love me, love me, love me, play me, play me, play me. That's BS.
Love me, love me, love me.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
Bobby,
forcing
thank
people
you.
to love you.
No, I understand. You can't do that. That's no different from forcing yourself. You could say remaining in a relationship that isn't working out and hoping that it works out. It gets toxic
Exactly.
and dangerous, actually, to a certain extent.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
If
I
if
understand.
if
It's just the way you said it's just funny, and yeah, that.
if you're
Go ahead
if
if
you're
you're still
with
speaking, Bobby.
if you're with someone and they tell you they don't want you anymore, believe them and better start looking to move on. You're hanging
Yeah,
around waiting for them to love you. You're just gonna create a situation that will be toxic to you more than anybody else, to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah. I agree. I agree indeed. This here reads, yeah, because he has just about a year left on his contract. If we let him leave on loan, he just get done with the loan and boom, leave as a free agent. We've talked about the elephant in the room, mammoth in the room, if you prefer. The day we got the here we go, we actually played fireworks and balloons to celebrate that. Gianluca Vialli was the manager that signed him. We did actually, Bobby.
Fireworks in the room. I missed that one, bro. You must have put the music.
We
You must have
did.
been all the
I'm
noise in the
serious.
background, bro.
But did you say it was Luca that signed Winston Bohardi?
Yeah, that's what
That's
he's saying. Yeah,
surprising.
Vic is very
But
educated. He knows Chelsea
yeah,
very
but
well.
Winston. Yeah, that's what I thought it was under
Wow,
the
that's
Viali era. I think. Yeah. He got
Really,
him.
yeah.
Did we get him on?
wow,
I
that's
can't remember.
surprising.
Was he on a
Yeah,
free?
and he said he joined 2000 to
Yeah.
2001
He
season.
was a
He
free,
was
wasn't he?
Vieri in charge then.
Viali.
And Bogart is French, right?
Dutch.
Dutch? Oh, yeah, yeah, Dutch. Yeah, correct. I wonder how Chelsea think of selling Trevor and leaving behind Badiashile. Are some of these decision places fans into medication, honestly? Farai Mutanga, I'm fine. He
What's
didn't
that?
do the same to me. Vincent Chukuma, darling, one day nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Is it true that Victor Osimhen is in London? No, 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 no. Don't trust a person that's told you that he's in London. We broke up with you for a reason, bro. Move on. Exactly. That's how I see it. But unfortunately, people don't see it the same way. If Okay, look at what he's been saying today, and people keep dropping the likes on the stream. 96 likes, four more to get it to 100. Let's make it happen. Let me go back to the presentation window. Sorry, I will be rounding off. I don't know how soon, but it won't be long. Okay, let's go. Here we have Vince here saying that's just his opinion. If Guehi leaves, or Palace could come back for Chalobah. Bobby, can you explain how this makes sense? Because you did say something to that effect.
What's that?
That if
Chalabata.
Guehi leaves,
Yeah,
uh Palace could come. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. Defenders, yeah, yeah, it makes sense. Don't worry about it. It makes sense. They'll be looking for a defender. They could come for Chalobah. Yeah, it makes sense now.
yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
but you did say something about Gooey. Was it Gooey? Oh, you said Guehi, and I thought you said Gooey. Is that correct, Bobby?
No, Guehi is who I'm talking about.
Yeah, so you were talking. So this aligns with what you said. That's why I was seeing this. But it makes sense now. Yep, they've been looking for a replacement, and Chalobah will be a a good defender to replace Guehi at Palace. But I don't know if it's still leave. That's a lot of money, though, for 16 million pounds. Jadon is a must at the moment. Chelsea must keep off. Is a what? Jadon is a minus, not a must. Okay, at the moment. Let's see what else we have here. Chelsea Football Club was certainly, that's according to Siaka South Africa, we certainly miss Chalobah in their defense, but life goes on. It's as simple as that. Honestly, I don't dwell on that. Palace already lost Joaquin Anderson, and their defense is currently in a bad shape. So probably whether Guehi leaves or not, they'd be interested in signing a Chalobah. I think that's what you mean there. There you go. Pletigo reporting that Chelsea and Juventus still exploring deals to sign Jadon Sancho until deadline day. So it looks like I don't know whether to trust Pletigo. I don't know them that much. I haven't followed them actually for a while. Nothing new here. I think this is Vince's opinion here. LOL, that gives it away. This here says that uh, Chelsea face topping up Raheem Sterling, £17 million per season salary in their effort to find a new club for him. At least two of the teams to have shown an initial interest in the England international will require Chelsea to contribute to his 325k a week salary. So Raheem Sterling is on £17 million per year per season. Ah, now
Yep.
I understand why when Dante talks about him, he says the club they're not going to try to pay him off, either pay him anything close to what it takes to pay him off, except if they agree on a reduced, you could say, amount. He was mentioning I think £60 million plus. That's a lot. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, he's not cost effective. He's a
Not in any
mistake.
way.
He's a mistake. I think the club recognize that. They're not going to pay him off. Of course, they're not. Compensate him? Maybe. Depends on how much he's looking for. Um, but I think, you see, before you make that sort of decision, you have to be prepared for the consequences. It's like
Hmm,
I always tell my kids, don't ever lend somebody money that you're not prepared to do without. It's like, you're not prepared for them not to pay you back. You don't make those sort of decisions without being prepared to absorb the consequences. Now, the club would not want to keep paying him. They know it'll probably, not only the optics of it all, the club has had enough of negative press. That will just be another thing for people to use as a stick to beat
hmm,
Chelsea over the head with. Even if they can afford it, they'll say, "Oh, they've got Sterling sat there paying him 325 a week," forgetting the number of people that sat in the stands for Man City, Man United, wherever, whatever. They would rather not. However, you can't. There's a limit to how much you can hold the club to ransom. They'll negotiate with you, but if you want to get silly, then fine. They're not going to. Then they're not going to budge because you're getting silly. So I think the negotiation is on. It's not completely shut down, but if they want to push it in a nasty direction where they will threaten the club to, oh, we'll sit out the 3 years, the club will just shrug their shoulders and say, well, okay, it's amortized for 3 years. We'll absorb that cost rather than pay that cost in one lump sum. You see what I'm saying?
hmm, hmm. Yeah.
So let's see. I mean, they would negotiate, they'll be diplomatic about it, but it's in hand. They are prepared for the worst case scenario. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I think I'd agree. They must have a contingent plan, because yeah, it's a huge risk. JC is saying it's usually not as straightforward. Chalobah is on around, I think around 50 for, I think it's more than 40 a week, and but that's about it. You might want a pay rise and sign on fee. Yeah, but not all mid-table clubs would agree. There's still 1 week left, and we will see. I think he will leave. He will eventually leave, if there are offers on the table for him. But I haven't heard of any, except for the ones we're hearing that he's refused. Nobody walks away from 15 to 16 million a year. It depends on who you are. Uh, Try to hire Ronaldo for that amount. He'd tell you he's not interested. That's why I argued with Bobby. Sterling will not walk away. No chance. No, in terms of free money that comes like that. Like, I want you gone in this relationship, but I want to pay you this amount to please accept the offers coming from the other club to leave. Yeah, he will take it. I think they will find common ground, but let's see how that we'll find out. We heard about the one for Ross Barkley. I think he got around £3 million or so. I'm not quite sure how much. Even Malangsa got some amount before he agreed to leave. Um, if you've assigned Sancho ahead of Chelsea, then I would definitely be happy for them because they have saved us so well. Sancho is of no impact. His wage will definitely be too high, and currently no space. Let's see what happens. Stop the mathematics, please, and leave me alone. Let's see. Javier, World Cup is 2 years away. Sterling has no incentive to play week in, week out. Probably, to me, I don't know whether he still has the drive, or maybe he still wants to represent England. Chances that that's the case, and he hasn't won the World Cup. So probably if he gets a chance to represent England again, I think he'd take it. But we don't know what he wants. But despite the way, Raheem Sterling, let's see how that ends. The pictures okay, so Raheem Sterling here. Mihailo Mudryk, I think the manager is handling him well. He's playing with his mind. I think he will come good. Keep an eye on Jhon Duran. He remains an option on Chelsea's table. I think that probably will end up signing Jhon Duran. That's what I think will happen. And if it comes, I'll support him. I just wanted a more experienced player. But here's the thing. The reason I take him over Jonathan David is this. He is more of a traditional number 9 than David is. David is more like a hybrid number 9, like João Felix, like Nicolas Jackson, like Christopher Nkunku. We already have many players of that same profile. We need to mix it up with somebody who's more of a traditional number 9, like Jhon Duran. And by the way, he shoots very well. He shoots instinctively, for lack of a more specific language there, doesn't hesitate, doesn't need a measuring tape to start measuring what angle to aim at. He just shoots instinctively, and in most cases gets it right. So it wouldn't be a bad idea, in my opinion. But I'd rather Osimhen than him. But if you cannot afford Osimhen for sign him, I'd be okay with it. Why? We already have a good number of players that can help us get a good enough goals to finish well. We have João Felix. At least if he hits the bar 5 times, he scores 5 times. We have Christopher Nkunku. If you can find him, he'd put away chances. We also have Cole Palmer. He creates back in, but he can score too. I think we'll be all right. We don't. You say we don't have the pressing need to sign a traditional number 9. Again, that is my humble opinion. I'm not saying certainly that will be the case. We need 2 more likes, people. 2 more likes to get it to 100. Let's make it happen, people. I appreciate you all. Namaya, what's killing you? What's going on with Chilwell? Technically, he's no longer a Chelsea player, in my opinion. But he's still getting bet by. He hasn't left. He's still there. Duran. He's hungry like the wolf. The kid, indeed. No chicks aside, he's hungry. He has the potential, but lack of experience is. But if we end up signing him, I'd be happy that we didn't sign Omar who hasn't had Premier League experience. But for him, he's been in the Premier League. Is it 2 seasons now, and he's played. You can say a good enough game to. You can say acclimatizer to the Premier League's was the language I'm looking for, pace and intensity and everything. For me, if Chelsea cannot get Osimhen's deal across the line, it's better they leave every other option at the moment. We can be okay. Even the manager, he said something to that effect, but he ended that his comment on the tape by saying, "But if we can get any striker that will make us better, that's fine. If you get it, you get it." Fred Garrett is saying, like the video, people keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. 2 more likes to get it to 100. Let's make it happen. I do hope so. Glenn 10. Much love to you, brother. Always nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Anything else here? Yep, he was on holiday. Coach and panel, big up to you too, as always. You know I love you. You know we love you to death, brother. It's a true love. You bring us happiness whenever you're in the chat here. Again, always nice to see you. Let me just leave it at that. But you know the love comes from the bottom of our heart, not just me, all of us here. So we move on to the next item we have here. Enzo Maresca's comment. Enzo Maresca on Sanchez long ball for Parma's goal. I said many times we started 1 month ago, when we started 1 month and a half ago. Excuse me. 1 month and a half ago, when there is
Bless you, mate.
space in behind, we needed to attack in behind. Okay, they were all on our side and they were attacked. Yeah, good one, really. And again, the goal, wow, it was delicious. Former Chelsea winger Bolo Zenden. I worked with Nani Madrid at PSV. When he made the step to Chelsea, I had my thoughts. I thought, why would you go there? Because you thought we were, yeah, okay. To see him do well and score goals, he's a threat going forward, but he needs to keep working hard in training. I think he works hard. I've heard that he arrives. He's one of the first to arrive. To arrive for training and the last to leave. He works hard, and I think he will go places if he continues with the mindset that there's always something to learn. I think that will take him a long way. Maybe Maresca doesn't rate Mark Gui. I don't agree. I don't even want to get into the argument. Do you really think Enzo is getting into Nisha's head? I think so. I listen. I'm a good judge of character. Honestly, I have to be honest with you. Look what he did to Nani. He knows what buttons to press. Him saying openly that I took him for a reason. He wasn't doing well. That would get Misha to do even more. And we're hearing less and less of talent, and loan isn't enough. And some motivational quotes on his Instagram. His mind will be set on showing the manager that he can do it. And actually against Wolves, he didn't have a bad game. He did better than he's done since Maresca arrived at Chelsea, in my opinion. But we'll see. We'll keep following his situation. I think he'll get into his head. He's not going anywhere. He will prove a lot of people wrong, because the manager himself, he said it. That's a good player in there. He just needs help, and that's what, if you ask me, he lacked on the Pochettino. He lacked on the Porter, and I'm the same thing that I and Jan from Football Therapy, what we've been saying, and also Dante, get credit to him, he's also been saying that all he needs is someone to understand, yeah, that's a good play in there, but he needs help, and not expect him to be perfect. Show him confidence too. I think he will blow people's mind. He will come good. Let's see what else we have here. Maresca ran away yesterday, though. What do you mean? I'm not sure I understand. When they ask about who, more signings. Okay. We don't need too many signings, in my opinion. Anything else to address here? We've seen this and this here. Anything else? Okay. Chalobah, we've seen address that report. Armando Broja, we've addressed that report. While you wait for me, if you have any questions, to drop it in the chat and we will try to address it. Anything else? Mikel will be about Jackson. Listen, if Jackson scores every week and tells me to shut up, I would take it. Yeah. I think, as much as I didn't like the way you can say Mikel will be presented his critic you can say of Jackson, I think he didn't do it what's the correct way to phrase it? I think he overdid it. He practically bashed him. There's a difference between criticism and bashing someone, and Jackson took it the way he did and had to respond the way he deemed fit at the time. Now, Mikel, I've listened to his counter response. That's the way he should have spoken in the first place. Yeah, there's a good player in there, but he needs to do certain things to become better. He didn't say it that way. But in my opinion, if I was Jackson also, My response, I wouldn't have said anything until I get to score like 5 games in a row and have like 8, 10 goals, and I say, "Are you watching? I'm improving, and thank you for the advice." Honestly, rather than tell him shut up. But then again, for me, he has every right to respond the way he deems fit, and he did. But that's by the way, I'm moving in from that. Let's see when I say Mudrik was better off the ball against Wolves. Yeah, that's the truth. At least that's an improvement. Let's see what else we have here. Coach, no chance that Misha will struggle to get there. I think he will do well. He will get his chance, but we have numbers, so probably will start by coming off the bench every week, or maybe if the manager decides to rest one player or the other, he gets a chance to play. Um, but he better take the opportunities when they come his way. I went at the breach against City, then I will be in Geneva 3 days. Oh, so happy. And nice to see you again, bro. I hope you're doing well. It's been a minute. Anybody else want to talk about the Jackson Mikel? I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. I wouldn't call it a saga, but anybody want to say anything? DJ, you, Bobby?
Uh, yeah, I can understand Mikel Obi. You know, we all know what a ledge he is at Chelsea, and obviously we know he's trying to push for the. I think the reason why I think he's trying to say what he's saying is obviously I don't know if it's his way of trying to make the club go and fork out money on Osimhen and get him to the football club. And they're
Mm,
making this thing with the whole Jackson thing. Obviously, he's got to prove. In other words, it's more or less like it's more or less saying to Jackson, "Prove me wrong." And I think Jackson started doing that. Obviously, he started to do that, and I think all Jackson can do for me is improve. And we all know there's a player in Jackson when he's on song. I just think he just needs to take more of his chances when they're given to him. I know he's missed a few, but we also know that when he does score, he can score a lot of good goals. So I think all it is he's got a challenge. I know he's told him what it was to shut up, whatever it was. But at the end of the day, I think he can. I think he can prove it. I think he's good enough to improve himself, Jackson. But I
mm.
still say it. I still will say it. For me, he needs support and help up there, and he needs another player off of Osimhen to come in there and take the burden for being the only striker up front to score our goals. Because let's be real here, Kuchela, any of our front line, and I'm going from Nkunku to Neto to Felix to Palmer, to Madueke, can all score goals for us. We saw that all yesterday. And they absolutely blitzed Wolves yesterday, right? It could have even been a cricket score, as I said, if they took more of their chances, right? So for me, look, we have got the goal scorers there, yes. But I've always said it to you, Kachida, from the beginning. I said it. We need that for me. We need that proper number 9 to come in there on the odd occasion when you're going to finish the ugly games 1-0. Yeah, you
When,
need
when
that
you're
guy to
saying
do
the
that.
proper number 9, you're saying just let me just use a more specific language
Yeah, go
here.
for
Do
it.
you mean like a traditional number 9? It doesn't matter whether the person is capable of dropping deep, participating in the play, has good hold on play, can play on the flanks, right? Because that's what we're hearing the manager's looking for.
He is looking for that, but then you also need the manager's also looking for. I think he said it as well, and he's alluded to it as well. You also need a player that, for example, if we can't go and win the games as we wanted, as we did yesterday, you do need that goal. You do need that finisher that will finish off the game in a 1-0. And I call them the ugly wins. Yeah, and that's your guy. Osman is that guy. He will not only will he hold up play, bring others into play, and do what he needs to do. He'll also get the odd 1-0, 2-0 win if we need to get that. If we can't get, we can't, let's be real here, Kitcher. We can't go and smash teams every week 6-0, 6-2. It'd be lovely if we could do that. But when you come up against like an Arsenal or a Manchester City, you know what was missing against Manchester City, Kitcher? I'll be honest with you, bro. Had we had Osman in that team against Man City, we don't lose that game last week. I'll be honest with you, we don't.
I mean, speaking in hindsight, we don't know.
I don't think we do. Because I think those chances that Jackson had, okay, first of all, Osimhen would have not been in an offside position as Jackson was for the first goal. And the second one that he had that was saved by Edison, either way, Osman puts that in the top corner from that angle. That's the difference. That's what I'm talking about, the difference between the two. Jackson is listen, don't get me wrong. Jackson's still young. People want to call him raw, but I think I think there's a player in Jackson. I've always said it. I'd have him and Austin because I think he needs that support up there, and you need that kind of number 9 to come in, like an Osimhen, a finisher who's been there, done it on the stage already, and he's also older than him, so he knows how to get those ugly wins. Didier Drogba used to do it for us week in, week out, bro. If we couldn't get, I mean, he used to bang in the goals, yes, but on the odd occasion we couldn't get 2, 3, 4, 6, and you have to win a game ugly. Yeah, Bobby probably would agree. You go get someone like a Drogba, he goes and puts the ball in the back, and we win the game 1-0. People want to call it a boring match, or whatever, but still, we still leave the stage in winning 1-0. And that's what we mean. Sometimes you can't, if we can't get the place to score those goals like we want them to, you need that third person who can come in there and get you that 1-0 win and get you just to get you over the line and win that game. And there are going to be times this season, bro, when we're going to be doing that. We're not going to be able to smash teams. As I said, you'll need that odd 1-0 win here and there. And that's where Osimhen comes in and does that. That's why I think he's the guy we need to bring. Not the Jhon Duran, not anyone like that, but a guy who's been there, done it on the stage. And for me, he is the guy. I've said it all along, and he is the guy. Not only will he only get you the odd ugly goal, but he'll get you the goals. Those chances yesterday, right? I'll be honest with you, Kachilla, right? As I said, he could have scored a hat trick yesterday because the amount of chances that were provided yesterday. Do you get me? I don't know if
Yeah,
you
I'm with
saw it
you.
when you watched it. And that's why I think, for me, that's why you need him in the team for that reason. Because sometimes Jackson might not always get them goals. You might get a João Felix that might not get them odd goals to come off the bench and score you those goals. Even in the combination between him and Neto when they came off the bench was absolutely excellent. That is what you call. That's how they play in the Portuguese national team. He found him. He knew where he was. Boom, bang, it's a goal. Yeah, that's how you need. Same situation for Osimhen coming in there when you get that person who can't finish it off but gets you that 1-0 win. And that's why I said he's the kind of guy you need to bring in the team for that reason.
Thank you so much for that. Let's see anything else to get here. Jackson is upset because Mikel is advocating for Osimhen. It's not just because of the criticism. I understand, and that makes perfect sense. And thank you for bringing that up. So that shows it probably is. Why should that be a concern? If he's confident in his ability, why should that be an issue in the first place? That shows you that's he's still a kid. Good evening to you too, Chimua Precious. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Chelsea should hijack a Chiesa. It doesn't look like we want him. CFC just need a finisher at the front. You don't need. Can we stop saying we need just a finisher? As if we were going to be channeling all our goal scoring chances through a single individual. We should, yeah, it's a good thing to realize we need a number 9, but we shouldn't just be going sounding as if we bring in someone and every time we get to the final third, we find them and hope they finish all of them. Kuba Victor, we really need Victor Osimhen. He's our missing piece in that squad. Yeah, we could get him, but I'm not sure what's going to happen. Really, I have to be honest with you. Moises Casado, Chelsea midfield. Can we keep the topic aligned, please? Add it to the growing list of injury worries. When he was first off during the match against Wolves, the Ecuadorian internationals exit raises concern. I think you're correct. He may well be injured, but Lavia will be ready to play the next game. Every player is open to critics everywhere. That challenges you to do better. I think I agree. Jackson don't need to be angry and respond back the way he did. Like as I said, if it was me, I'd respond differently. Also, in my opinion, and if I was Mikel, I wouldn't say what he said the way he said it. I'd phrase it differently, in my opinion. I think we just need Osimhen, and then the coach should work on the defensive errors. I think he's going to be working on that. Thank you for coming. And Rich Amadi Mikos. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. Legends on the panel. We are definitely getting the striker by the end of the transfer market. The CC is out of the manager's plan. Great win, everyone. Great win indeed. Anything else Andrew Phillips is saying, evening to you. 249 is the way forward. We have pies coming. And everything comes down to what the manager wants to do. But despite the way, Bobby, anything else you want to say before you call it a day? I gotta go get ready to go get my boys from school.
Well, as I've said, I think the issue here is that I think the Osimhen deal will happen. It's sort of like a deadline day sort of situation. I really do. He seems very much the fit for Chelsea. As far as Jackson's concerned, I don't really take that seriously. I think Jackson and Osimhen will be an excellent combination, rotating with Nkunku sometimes.
It
It's
depends on the opponent.
exactly. The thing is with Chelsea now is if we can consolidate that midfield and improve on the defense, it's going to be a very, very formidable team. Very formidable team. The problem yesterday was a hollow midfield. But when they increased their work rate, both Enzo and Caicedo, we became such an unstoppable unit. That's why Wolves were very dirty yesterday. It has to be said they were a very dirty side, and yet again it disturbs me how the officials allow these things to happen to Chelsea, and nobody really seems to feel there's anything wrong with it. I think he only gave one yellow card, whereas he should have given out more. And the guy that hurt Caicedo is lucky to have remained on the pitch with just that yellow card. But if we have more physicality in midfield to hold, Enzo, gosh, if he's up in his game like that, I think we have a lot to look forward to. I really do.
He did very well defensively, offensively. I think one of the goals he won the ball for us. And on
Yeah.
two occasions, again, two of the goals he won the ball, and then we attack, and then we orchestrated an attack from after he won the ball for us. But one
He,
certainly in the
he
second half.
he played a proper captain's role. In fact, he reminded me of the days of Dennis Wise when we had him as skipper in the middle of the park. He was giving me that vibe, and that's one heck of a captain that we had.
Oh
As
yeah.
little and as diminutive as he was, he had such a good work rate. He was aggressive. He really pushed the team forward, and Enzo reminded me of that. What we needed was backup for him and Caicedo because they're both kind of lightweight. If you'd had someone like Ugo Chuku in there, Caicedo wouldn't have got hurt because Ugo Chuku would have been that physicality. So I hope they've learnt. I hope they've learnt. If this is all we have in midfield, then Enzo better start playing Vega in there sooner rather than later because that's where we're lacking. We're too hollow in the middle. I think the centre backs will eventually get it, but the midfield needs reinforcements.
And I think I'm quite sure Enzo Maresca knows that Renato Vieira can play as a DM and can protect the defensive line effectively. That
Hope
key,
so.
and no, again, no surprises as to why he wasn't sent out on loan. He's excellent on the ball. He's a fine dribbler. He can beat the press. Has excellent passing range, and he has aggression. More importantly, you can't
Yeah.
bully him. And he's a huge kid. I'm glad we signed them for how much we signed them for. We didn't end up signing Cafiori because I don't think we really needed him. If we're being honest here, maybe because we've signed Viega. Viega, he's built for the Premier League, in my opinion. And let's see. Farai Mutanga is saying, I put my weight behind Mikel. Jackson has let us down on several occasions, and he isn't immune to criticism. He's not. He responded the way a kid would, and I wasn't surprised when I saw his response. That's after scoring one-headed goal and getting an assist. And Mikel responded in a classy way, as he should have. Again, the way he should have, you could say, constructed his first criticism of Jackson by saying, "Yeah, okay, you know what? Score every week, and I'll shut up. Tell me to shut up, and I'll respect that." Something to that effect. Of course, I'm paraphrasing. Yeah, I can't quite remember word for word what he said. But it's fine. Jackson needs to learn. If I were Jackson, what I'd do would be, "Hey, Mikel, did you watch the game? And I'm still gonna score in the next game." Something to that effect, and not tell him shut up. The coach is cooking, but needs to get a lethal defender, I'm guessing, to partner Fofana and Cowell. Okay, let's see what happens. Big up to you, to Biazi, saying the thing is all the old Premier League players who are now consultants, the plus the media people, peoples, okay, all the Chelsea haters, which has become something normal, are talking about our players, project and owners. And in all honesty, I think there's a way. Like I said, Mikel could have said what he said about Jackson differently. Yeah, in my opinion. We do not play long forwards, nor do we see often a long ball which requires someone to control and hold the player and all that. Maresca's approach is very different, and I'm quite sure you know that. I think you've said something already about that in the chat, or did I skip it? Okay, this one here,
No,
which
to the
reads,
contrary. To the
yeah, just one
contrary.
second. Just one second. If you analyze Maresca's style last season and you watch Sunday's game, whenever we attack, we do it with speed like this. No waste of time. That's the truth. Just like Pep's teams do. And there's always at least a 4 attackers in the opposition half. I think we will overwhelm opposition defenders quite a lot. And if we can sort out our defensive issues, it will be a good season for us. Go ahead, Bobby. You were saying something.
Yeah, the second goal was an epitome of the long ball.
Mm.
Came from the goalkeeper all the way to Jackson, then to Palmer, and he
Palmer.
scored. It was a very long ball. So we
But
can
that
mix it up.
finishing, Bobby, that
Goal of the
finish,
season for me so far.
that finish by Go
Yeah.
Palmer, if you paid attention to what he did with the ball, why am I whispering?
I
Mm.
was going to ask that, because what's going on, bro? Are you whispering for buff?
No, but you know what? It just maybe that was me trying to dramatize my explanation of that goal.
We
Excellent,
can
mate.
mix it up.
Excellent. You were trying to actually say, you were like trying to put it all in motion of how it would work, like a commentator's way, but you were trying to do it in a silent way, right?
We, we've shown that we can mix it up for sure. Um,
No, Bobby, that
I'm
goal
not.
was beautiful.
It
The
was
Yeah.
finish.
superb,
Jeez, I
sublime, mate.
get it. Jackson did all the work. The goalkeeper, excellent from Sanchez, by the way. But Jackson
Who had a
didn't try
good
to be
game, by the way?
selfish. He saw Palmer and just lobbed the ball all over the defender and found Palmer. Palmer, my goodness, the finish. He saw the goalkeeper and had to at the same time ensure that again a controlled kick. Maybe I'm not sure how to define it.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
I have to add that personally, I was impressed with Sanchez. Especially towards the end of the game when he was collecting crosses, taking the pressure off the team. He had a good game yesterday, and if he continues like that, he's going to be hard to shift by um, Jorgensen, because he's showing he's a number one for sure.
Yeah, yes, then. Even if you argue that the reason why he's doing as well as he's doing right now is down to the arrival of
Because of the
Jorgensen,
pressure.
good. Then
Good.
good. Yeah.
That's what we
Then
want.
if he gets injured, Jorgensen will come in, and then he has to wait until Jorgensen gets injured again because Jorgensen is equally good, if not better. But like we said during the start of the season, before the start of the season, numbers show that actually Sanchez did better than Petrovic. A lot of people were arguing at the time, but yeah, it is what it is. We have two excellent goalkeepers. Yeah, you know.
Have to agree.
Yeah, we've read that one there. Big up Bobby, this rich money maker saying hello to you too there.
Yeah. Big up,
Casadei.
Rich
Big up to
Moneymaker.
you
Big
too,
up.
Kishan, the New York guy. Nice to see you. Hello to you too, Rain. Nice to see you, Rain. I appreciate you finding the time to join us. Big up Kishan, Glenn 10 responding to JC there. We will be very busy in the market on Friday. Outgoings, incomings, whatever you want to say. Coach, did you save the screenshot of Sanchez criticism? I don't remember saving that. I don't. Listen, we're all entitled to our opinion, and I know why you're saying that. Uh, we miss you, Rain. We did miss you. Anybody else who has anything else to say before we call it a day? I gotta go pick up my boys from school. Anybody else?
Nah, bro, it's all good. You can pick up your kids, mate.
All
All
right,
good.
and DJ, I appreciate you finding the time to join us.
That's all
Thank you
right.
so much. I
Great
cannot
being
thank
here
you
as
enough, brother.
always.
And
No,
Bobby, thank
thank you.
you. And I want to say thank you to my bro DJ Soup, and of course Bobby, the legendary Bobby, who almost always available to talk Chelsea. And thank you to Temita Egbon, our brother. Thank you. Rain, nice to see you. JC, thank you so much. And Rich Money Makers, nice to see you, Rich Money Makers. And my bro, Glenn 10. Thank you so much. Nice to see you. I do hope you're doing well. BRZ, my Swiss bro, Siaka, South Africa, all of you in the chat. And if I missed your name, apologies. I'm only human. See you guys next time. God bless us all and cheers.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed. All the squad here to play and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. And I'm up again. I got tired eyes, need a cup of blend. That's right, in the AM, that's my only friend. No light, just the sun coming up on the horizon. I lose track of time, yeah, I move fast and climb a new class divine, yeah, true passion shines. And I'm through passing time, I choose stacking dimes. You snooze half the time while I move passing by. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say. I don't push pause, no I push play. I won't stop till I make a change. I withdraw on the things I make. I turn flaws into flawless traits. I build tall, never capped in space. I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la. I've been driving this train.